American League has struggled this year, but its stars shut out the National League team 4-0 in last night's All-Star game. 3 of those runs put up in the first inning. Tonight, it's the ESPYs, and the Seahawks and JSN are nominees in 2 big categories. The Seahawks are up for Team of the Year against 8 other nominees. JSN is one of 4 nominees for NFL Player of the Year.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
We do have some training camp previews beginning today. We're not starting with quarterbacks. We're going to start those at 10:30. Get Off My Lawn coming up at 10:45. Getting to the Mariners at 11 with Ryan Rowland-Smith. We're starting with the Seahawks today. Obviously, the single biggest story maybe in the city is the new Seahawks ownership. So here's what we're wondering right now. What we hope ownership understands about the Seahawks, what would be encouraging for us to see, and maybe some questions we have about an upcoming contract extension with one Devin Witherspoon. I mean, is that going to affect things? Bump, before we get to the Devin Witherspoon stuff, I just want to start with this. Earlier, you and I were having a conversation with someone about kind of like the Seahawks culture. And that has predated, obviously, even Mike Macdonald getting here. Mike Macdonald's buy-in has been absolutely incredible. Winning a Super Bowl in year 2 is absolutely incredible. But, like, there's a culture that's been firmly established, probably by virtue of having the same family in ownership since 97. What do you hope the new ownership, that family, understands about this culture?
Hope they understand that it's their job to play the background and support the culture any way that John and Mike needs them to support it. That this is something that's been developed for 2.5 years now. Longer if you just isolate John Schneider, how long he's been here. John's been here forever. He's seen the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, all of that in between. So he has a direction. And with Mike Macdonald, it's obviously what he's doing is working. There's parts about this culture that we don't even understand because we're not in the building like that. So their job is just to support whatever it is they have already established here. What is it? A team that is going to practice fast and hard, a team that loves each other. See, all these guys really like each other. A team that is extremely confident, but the real roots of the culture, you and I can't even really fathom because we're not in that building. Mm-hmm. I know what culture feels like on good teams. Everyone holds each other accountable. You come to work every single day, whether you had a great day at home, a bad day at home. You don't let the outside stuff affect your day-to-day. And you just grind and you pay attention to detail. And then there are other things, right? I'm sure they have sayings that, I mean, we'll get it every now and then with the T-shirts, MOB, and all that good stuff. But there are other things that we just can't understand because we're not in that building. But just the obvious and the generic, just support whatever it is these guys have established already.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation because there are some ownerships, that, groups or families that take over, and you have like the Commanders, where Dan Snyder eventually sold the Commanders back in 2022. I'm sure there were a lot of conversations in Washington about like, hey, this is what we hope changes. we have some sweeping changes we'd like to see because this thing has felt rotten from the top down for a while. That's not at all the case with Seattle. I'm assuming Broncos fans probably felt the same way when the Walton family purchased that team in 2023, even though they, at the time, I think we're still in a playoff drought. I can't totally remember. There's clearly a legacy there that's been established. I think that the Seahawks are just kind of like a set it and forget it kind of thing right now.
Yeah.
Don't fix what isn't broken. Now, one of the things that I'm wondering whether it's going to be affected, whether the timeline is going to be affected, is that extension for Devin Witherspoon. We knew that the team was up for sale. We knew that the sale was ongoing. We didn't know exactly when it would be. So even with that thought in our mind, we just assumed, at least I did, Bump, that like this Devin Witherspoon deal is going to get done. What, before training camp? When were you kind of thinking? Before we even heard news of the ownership?
I was thinking before training camp. I was thinking it was it's a waiting game with him and Gonzalez to see who gets paid first and kind of raises the bar or sets the tone. But definitely before training camp.
So I'm wondering now, does an ownership change impact that timeline? Here's Steve Weish on NFL Network.
But operationally for the Seahawks,
typically when this happens, they're still able to get deals done, right? They want to get the Devin Witherspoon contract done. That's something they can still get done. We know head coach Mike McDonald, John Schneider, they both have signed contract extensions. Well, Mike McDonald, he signed a 6-year contract 2 years ago. John Schneider signed a 5-year extension a couple of years ago that takes him through 2031. They're still going to be around. In fact, Mike, I know that they were part of the process in interviewing, so to speak, some of the ownership groups when they came through the Seahawks facility in the minicamp era of this summer. So they were feeling out the ownership groups. The ownership groups are feeling out them. But the leadership of the Seahawks is very well in place, and that includes some of the player transactions that we're expecting.
Okay, so there's two things there. One, he talks about Mike and John being involved in the hand over to a new ownership group. But the one I want to focus on first is just that it shouldn't impact the timeline of Devin Witherspoon's extension. Why hasn't a deal gotten done?
I don't know. I can't tell you. But the only thing that I can really lean on is just waiting to see what happens elsewhere, because it comes down to this leverage and money. And maybe they wanted this to wait until the new ownership got in here. They placed value on Devin Witherspoon. Mike McDonald and John Schneider would have the opportunity to talk to them and tell them how important he is. I don't know how deep into football this ownership group is either, right? I know that they're the son with a 31, 33-year-old.
Early 30s.
Was an intern with the 49ers, so he understands how an organization works. The research that I've done, this is like an AI family. I don't know how much they know about football, and I almost think that's a good thing, because they haven't bought they shouldn't have bought this team to be a part of game planning and personnel moves like that. Your job is to enhance the experience of everyone at that organization, to provide leadership, make it more profitable, but allow the football people to do football things. Mm-hmm. So maybe out of just respect, they're saying, well, let's hold off and wait. Let's get this new ownership group in, and this is a way of them honestly trying to relay what their culture is, why Devin Witherspoon is so important to this team and their culture, and what he brings to the table and what he's about. So maybe that's the case. I don't really know. We know a deal's going to get done. We know that Spoon should be one of the, if not the highest paid corner in the league. But I think it's more about communication. And if they felt like they needed to wait to have the proper communication with this ownership group, I'm with that.
Now, this is the timeline I want to get to. The ownership won't be official until the vote at the owners' meeting on August 26th. August 26th, well into the preseason. I mean, that's nearly the start of the season. We are through training camp at that point. If a deal gets done before then, fantastic. Then we're not even talking about this. If you're waiting on the Kosla family to kind of become the official owners of the Seahawks until you do Devin Witherspoon's extension, well, what's that mean for Devin Witherspoon? Does he go through training camp without a new extension? Training camp, we have 8 shows before training camp starts. I have heard nothing about a Devin Witherspoon extension.
Yeah, I've heard nothing, and he hasn't been on X or Instagram complaining about not having a deal done. It seems like he's just been kind of going with the flow as well. The dangerous part about not having a deal done before training camp is, knock on wood, bad things happen. People get banged up, people get hurt. And that clearly would affect the amount of money that they would be comfortable paying D Spoon. So I hope it gets done before that.
This is just something that'll get figured out and just kind of be sprung on us. Like, before we know it, it'll be the second day of camp, and it's like, oh, breaking, Devin Witherspoon extension.
I don't know. I think that...
Because I don't know if he's a participant without it.
Yeah, well, we know, or we feel that the vote is going to go through with all the other owners, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be unanimous.
It's going to go through. So they can technically start acting as if they already own the team. So maybe they're having these conversations already with John and Mike trying to figure this whole thing out. But I think that the right thing to do for Spoon now is to get this done before training camp, because he has handled this like a pro. No hiccups, no drama. He's been good. So, yeah, I think that finding out who the owners were going to be played a role in this. But now that we know, and we're 99% sure this vote is going to pass, let's go ahead and start doing business.
Question from a listener. Does the new ownership change have anything to do with the delay? I don't think so. I mean, it's a good question. It's what we're wondering about the timeline right now, right? Is, are they now going to have to or want to wait until the family is official on the 26th before doing this deal? I've assumed, Bump, tell me if you agree, that the delay is more about, do you completely reset the market has Witherspoon established himself as the best corner? What does that look like? Because we're talking about 30, God, is it 30 and a half or 33 and a half? I can't totally remember, but McDuffie right now owns the biggest contract. So I think it's just about like, how much do you reset the market? And do you? That's what I've thought it was. What do you think?
I think that's an easier, well, yes, because the new owners have to be okay with it. So, but I think that we all know around where Spoon's going to be. It's not like he's going to reset the market if he does by $10 million. It'd be like $1 million or two a year or something like that. Or he's going to come in underneath that. So it's not like they're crunching numbers, really trying to figure out where this is going to land. I think it's more, let's get ownership, a new ownership in here, get them involved, and let them see what we've created and why he's that important to us. And then I think that on the player side it's a waiting game. All right, what is Christian Gonzalez going to get? All right, I want $2 more million than him.
They have the same agency.
Exactly. So it's more than just one thing, but I think on the business side, it could.
I don't think John cares about trying to time it up with Hard Knocks. I don't think John cares at all.
I don't think so either. I think that's Hollywood, and this organization is not Hollywood at all.
I think that, look, there have been deals that have done, we've covered so many extensions that get done at or near or just after the start of training camp for this team. I can't tell you how many times we've been out there for the first day of training camp, and it's like, uh-oh, Bobby Wagner's not here. Oh, here he is in a hoodie. Like, they usually get done within the first week, maybe the first 2 weeks. And usually it's for a massive star who like isn't going to miss out by not practicing for those first few days. But there's been Dwayne Brown, Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, like a number of guys that have kind of carried that into the season, the off season and training camp. So I don't think that this is John timing it up for Hard Knocks. No. I think that Hard Knocks will probably be filming when this deal is finalized.
Oh, Hard Knocks will love it.
Like, coincidentally, I think that's when it'll happen, but this is how it always has been with John.
This is how it happens all across the league, not just here. I mean, guys, take this thing into training camp all the time because you're crossing T's and dotting I's and making sure you're okay with what the deal is. I don't think the Seahawks are sitting around and saying, all right, guys, we got to make a big production out of this. Let's make sure that we get the Spoon deal done on Hard Knocks. That is not what I get from John, not what I get from Mike, and anyone else over there. Pearson, that's not. And if they are doing that, then good for you because you got me fooled because I do not think they move like that.
Also, can I just say something respectfully? And I don't mean that. I love Devin Witherspoon. He's a phenomenal player. Contracts are interesting to me. When I think of good TV, it's not Devin Witherspoon getting a deal done. Good TV that Hard Knocks cares about is like arguments that might happen, heartwarming moments, the rookie that has a big play, the undrafted guy trying to make the squad. Like, that's kind of what Hard Knocks really wants to showcase. Cameras aren't going to be in the room when he's negotiating for this. Therefore, it's not good TV. Yeah. So unless there's a holdout or they're like following that, it's not really, I don't think Hard Knocks cares about that.
You'll get the aftermath.
Yeah, that's what they want. So, all right, still to come, coming up at 10:45, Get Off My Lawn. At 11, Mariners TV and radio analyst Ryan Rowland-Smith joins us to take a look at what the Mariners want to get right here in the second half with a series against the Giants, by the way, that begins on Friday. Before we know it, we're halfway through the All-Star break. Right now, let's get to Headline Rewrites.
Extra, extra, real
Headline Rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump Stacy.
Headline number one, the ESPYs are tonight, and the Seahawks are up for Best Team, while JSN is a nominee for Best NFL Player. What's the real headline?
Unfortunately, the award for Best Team has already gone to the 2026 Rams. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Darn.
No, they already won. In fact, they won all the awards, including the Super Bowl. So ESPYs and I think
already?
The season.
We missed that?
Yeah, I think we just cancel it. So big winners, 2026 LA Rams.
Hey, LA is really Hollywood right now. Lots of attention. We got Aaron Donald, who showed up at the facility training. Myles Garrett made some moves during the offseason. It's all good, man. I ain't tripping. Go ahead and crown them now. Give them all the awards because you have to play the games. You got to get out there, strap them up, and play. There have been plenty of teams that have been super talented who have not been able to get it done, and maybe the Rams become one of them. So, yes, they've won it already. They've won everything. They've won humanitarian award.
They won the Olympics.
You know,
they won the Nobel Peace Prize.
They're about to win the World Cup, actually.
We used to have this Above and Beyond award here at Bonneville. I think the Rams won that too.
Yeah, they got it all.
The lottery, any bingo halls that are in the area. The Rams
raffles.
The Rams have already won that.
Get your raffle
Anyone
tickets.
running for ASB president, homecoming king and queen.
McVay's the governor. He's the governor.
Everything's
actually.
already been won.
Yeah.
It's already been won. Here are the list of nominees. Now, this is interesting. There are 9 nominees for best team. Even though locally, all of us would say, oh my God, the Seahawks, what an incredible story. I don't know that they're winning this one, guys, because there are some front runners. Indiana Hoosiers nominee for best team. What an incredible story by them. New York Knicks ending, a 54-year drought, championship drought. They're a nominee as well. Team USA for men's and women's hockey with obviously monumental wins for them. Dodgers for just spending more than everyone else. I'm kidding, obviously, for winning back-to-back
Did you see
World Series.
what a nominee for best single game performance was?
I have them in front of me, but what? Oh, yes, I did. Curtis, why don't you go ahead and read that one off?
There's a college baseball player for Baylor hitting 3 grand slams in a game.
Cool.
Hannah Hidalgo breaking the NCAA record for most steals in a game.
Incredible, 16.
Shohei going 6 scoreless and also hitting 3 home runs in the same game.
Forget that?
And then
The best game ever played.
Bam Adebayo,
Let's
83
go.
points
Breaking-
against the Washington Wizards.
Now, whose record did he break, Curtis?
Well, several players, but probably the most
notably-
notable. What was it? Kobe.
I think it was Kobe Bryant. Kobe
that's right,
Bryant
him,
of the Lakers. Bump.
You know what? I'm loyal. I'm loyal to my squad. Bam, I'm not a hater. You know what? I actually watched the, what's that documentary on the USA basketball team?
Golden?
Yeah, something something like that. I watched
Golden
that
Days, I think.
again, and I really like Bam Adebayo. He's a really good dude.
Do you like him for punching Tyler Hero in Las Vegas?
Heck yeah.
Love it all. I like where he came from. I like he's dealing with Agent Wilson. He's a good dude. I'm not mad at Bam Adebayo. You go ahead and take it, but we all know what's up.
You guys see that there might be footage of that fight? That
Really?
TMZ might be looking, that there might be footage of that fight, and TMZ Sports is looking for it. They're digging for it. I think they're going to find, TMZ could find anything. We should get them on our greatest mysteries. Now, I mentioned those 9 nominees, that there are 9 nominees for Team of the Year, and I don't know that the Seahawks are winning. There are only 4 nominees for Best NFL Player. You think JSN beats one of these 3, or all of them, excuse me. Myles Garrett, Drake May, Matthew Stafford. Those are the other 3 nominees for NFL Player of the Year.
Nah.
You think Stafford gets it?
I think Stafford's going to get it. I think Stafford's going to get it.
Cool, you are an MVP. Did he do any? God, I sound so disrespectful. Matthew Stafford was incredible. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. But the MVP is always going to be the best quarterback that year. JSN did something that not only no other receiver did that year, but set franchise records. Inched his way into the top 10 all time.
Matthew threw 46 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
And respectfully, JSN.
How many in the Super Bowl?
Well, and JSN was unstoppable. JSN got 1,800 yards by being the leading receiver. It wasn't this dream team where there's a bunch of guys behind him. It was JSN, massive gap, everyone else on the team.
Jason set the team receiving record in week 12 or something ridiculous.
All right, let me ask you this. So if Matthew Stafford wins the award, you're going to be mad?
No.
Or you can see it, right?
No.
Yeah, I think JSN could and should get it, but quarterbacks get all the love.
I think that Indiana or the Knicks will win Team of the Year over the Seahawks, and then I think that Matthew Stafford will win NFL Player. Myles Garrett might win in his other category. God, I forget what it was. There's a record-breaking performance. I think he gets that one. Christian McCaffrey's a nominee, and Comeback Player of the Year, I think he gets that one. I think a bunch of the NFC West is going to be represented still, even at the ESPYs. Though, shout out to other amazing athletes that are also in here. Jalen Brunson, I think, is going to get Best Athlete Men's Sports.
He should.
Yeah.
Honestly, dropping 40 like that. He's already considered the greatest Knick of all time already.
Next up.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Spain clinched a spot in the World Cup final after defeating France in the semifinals at Dallas Stadium, or AT&T Stadium. They await the winner of today's match between England and Argentina. What's the real headline?
The real winner here were the fans of Dallas, who got to see what playoff football looks like.
It's big.
Treated to it.
Big for them. Congratulations.
First time for everything.
Bump, I saw most of the takes about this game being that France was a no-show. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say so. I would think that you go down early, right? You concede a penalty kick. It's going to be tough playing against a team like Spain. They control the ball. The possession was on point. I'm mad that Lamine had his goal taken away. Barely offsides. That VAR stuff, man. He was offsides by like an elbow. It's crazy. Sometimes I feel like you just let it go. But no, it was France were favored to win this whole thing. So to see them go down, all bad for them. But I'm like, come on, y'all. That would have been the 3rd consecutive World Cup France made it to the World Cup final. And we trying to get out the round of 16. Okay, so I feel bad for France, but I don't at the same time. They clearly had the more talented team. I just didn't show up.
I was very surprised by that one. Now, if the U.S. would have advanced and then Spain would have beaten us like 6-0, I would have been honored. I would have been like, wow, this is incredible. being in the semifinal, oh my God, I can't believe this. Do you think that Spain is or should be a clear favorite over... They would be over England, but over Argentina, you've been saying, like, look, it sure feels like FIFA's fixing this thing for Messi.
I think if Argentina wins, they should be the favorite. If England wins, then Spain will be the favorite.
How much of a favorite would Argentina be over España?
Not much. I mean, I don't know what Vegas would do, but a goal or two. I don't even know if they do it that way, but they should be favored if Argentina wins.
Next up.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, Red Sox slugger Wilson Contreras says he will not waive his no-trade clause and hopes to stay with Boston the rest of his career. What's the real headline?
Well, there goes the dream.
That was a fun little trade deadline.
It was cool when...
Wish?
Remember, God, you guys remember when we had a week of what if the Mariners trade for Tarek Skubal? That was a fun week.
Who's it going to be this week?
I'll never forget it. I think we're going to like slowly work our way down until we're talking about a team's 3rd or
Byron
4th
Buxton
best
was
reliever.
another.
Byron Buxton.
He said he's
had
not
the
waiving his
spotlight.
no trade.
Yeah. Who are we going to get to next? Like somewhere is a team's Chris Flexen, and we're going to be talking about that guy. Or like someone out of the bullpen. Who's another team's Cooper Criswell? That's what I want to have a week of previewing that guy.
Well, Luke Weaver of the Mets seems to be like the most available middle reliever.
And we're weaving him into the show.
He used to be a
now.
Mariner, actually.
Weaving him back into the Mariners starting now. We have 8 shows to go until we're live from Seahawks training camp, so we're getting you ready with a breakdown and preview of each position group. First up, quarterbacks get all the attention, and this defense clearly lifted this team to a Super Bowl, but that's not where we're going. Tight ends get the spotlight next.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away. 10 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
And nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. Let people come first.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Dave Wyman here, brand new member of Harborstone Credit Union, and I got my PNW Cashback checking account for free. No fees or minimums, and when I make everyday purchases with my Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card, I earn up to $30 each month. Gas, groceries, coffee, travel, lunch, all categories count toward your cashback. Open your free account online like I did. Go to harborstone.com/cash or visit one of their 29 branches across the Northwest.
Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
The countdown is on.
10 days.
Until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are 10 days away and 8 shows away from the start of Seahawks training camp. So we're doing a countdown with a training camp preview by position. Normally, I'd start with quarterbacks. Maybe you're looking at a very deep wide receiver room, a very complicated running back situation. But instead, I want to look at tight ends because I think it's a really interesting group.
You didn't. This was inspired by a texter.
Well, I was about to say you have a take that I would love to get to later in the show. And so this is also like a setup for me to get to that.
Okay, my bad.
If you would let.
My bad.
Now, it is ironic to say if you would let me finish, given that I'm the queen of interrupting. I just get excited. Okay, so I have a bunch of questions for you. Let's just start. Bump, who's in the room? Where's the status of this room? Like, do they have some good pieces to work with here? What's the foundation looking like heading into camp?
All right, so you got obviously A.J. Barner. He had 52 receptions, 519, and 6 touchdowns last season. Played in 77% of the snaps. You got Elijah Royal, 15 receptions, 179, 1 touchdown, 29% of the snaps. Eric Saubert, 4 receptions, 31 yards, a 2-point conversion. He played in 25% of the snaps. And then they bring over Harrison Bryant from the Texans. He had 2 receptions for 7 yards. That group, that tight end group, 73 receptions, 22% of all receptions, 733 yards for the Hawks, 18% of all the yards, 7 touchdowns as a group, 28% of all passing touchdowns for the Seahawks. You have 4 different type of tight ends. I think Harrison and Saubert are kind of more the same than everyone else. But A.J. Barner is the do-it-all type tight end. He's good. I'm going to spend a bit more time on A.J. Barner, but he is just all-around solid football player, can do whatever you want a tight end to do. Elijah Royal is the one that I'm still trying to figure out what he can be.
Yeah.
I know that he is, at least in college he was, a dynamic receiving tight end. Could move him to the outside. He can play in the slot. He can play attached to the line of scrimmage. But he was the guy that was going to be the matchup nightmare, the guy that could be used like Jimmy Graham.
I was going to say, is he more like a receiver?
Yeah.
That's okay.
I mean, I'm sure that I don't want to knock his blocking game. I've seen him block before. But if I had to lean one way or the other, I would say hands, route running, just receiver type tight end. Eric Saubert is your blue collar, lunch pail, do the dirty work type of guy. That's why he was butt naked on a Thursday against the Rams, catching that 2-point conversion, because he wasn't a focal point, right? When that offense gets out there, you're looking at JSN, you're looking at the running backs, Rashid if he's out there. So he was able to down block and then sit in the middle of the field. No one's guarding him. Boom, touchdown. Harrison Bryant is kind of like the same thing. So what you have is you have 2 dynamic tight ends in A.J. and Elijah Royal, and then you have your traditional 1998, 99.
Great years.
Early 2000s tight end who was just there to do all the dirty work, and I might catch a football or two. Not to say that these guys don't have hands, they can't catch a football, but that's not what they're going to get paid to do. When you see 2 tight ends out there and it's a clear run situation, for the most part, you're going to have A.J. and a combination of Eric Saubert or Harrison Bryant. I'm sure you can do it with Elijah Royal as well, but you want to get your most dynamic tight end out there, one of your best blocking tight ends out there. You let them do their thing. If Elijah can become one of those better tight end blockers, that's just going to help the offense in general, because you never want to become predictable. Teams are going to be able to narrow down what you're doing based on your formation, down and distance, where the ball is, all that good stuff. But if you're able, and sometimes you're just going to run your stuff, right? You know we're just going to run our stuff. But every now and then, 4 to 5 times a game, you want to line up in a formation that tells the defense this when it actually does that. If Arroyo is capable of being nasty when it comes to being attached to the line of scrimmage and becoming a great blocker, I can only imagine what this offense could look like with him and A.J. Barner. And then you sprinkle in a Robbie Oots in the backfield. So now it's like, okay, this is a clear running formation. Are they going to run the football? Play action, it just opens up everything the more your tight ends can do. So I like the group. I think it's a decent group. I think that there aren't many teams out there. I was trying to find teams out there with 2 stud tight ends. I don't think that's something that happens often. The last
Ravens
time,
for a while, I guess.
Ravens, and then back in the day, you had Hernandez and Gronk. Like that. Other than that,
and then nothing happened.
Yeah. Then nothing.
We don't know why they didn't play together anymore.
We don't know why that combo fell off. One exceeded the other one, whatever. So I think that this is a group that, along with Oots, I think can unlock this offense. I know people want to say, what about JSM? What about Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed? For sure. But if these guys can be an influence in the run game and in the pass game, it's just going to help everybody else out on the outside. So I like the group.
Okay. Am I ruining your A.J. Barner segment with a question of, hey, can you dumb it down and explain how this tight end group can unlock the run game in a different way this year?
No, we can do that.
Okay.
And big ups to Kyler up too.
Yeah.
Ask the question again.
Okay, my question is a dumb it down version. Even though we all like football and watch football and know this, I want to talk about and ask you about how this group can be used in an even better way. It sounds like you think, I think they could be used to unlock the run game. They can be used in a way to unlock this offense in a really cool way. How do they make the run game better? This group in particular.
You dominate the edge and the backside of plays. I mean, that's essentially what tight ends do. Mm-hmm. When they are attached to the line of scrimmage, obviously it's the right tackle or the left tackle. If you're running towards the tight ends, their job is to seal that edge. That's when you run like that outside zone, which we know the Seahawks love to run. Sometimes they'll get help from their tackle. They'll double the end, and then they'll combo to the overhang defender. So it's like if a safety rolls down or if there's a nickel outside that DN, you control the DN, and then you get to that overhang defender. That's where it is. And the running backs can actually help the tight ends as well. The tight ends on the outside zone, your job is to use your leverage. If your guy is 1 yard by 1 yard outside, 1 yard outside, or maybe 3 yards up, you want to take him where he wants to go. If he's outside, I got to take the proper angle, right, to that inside shoulder and push him outside. And you have to be able to adjust. If that overhang slides inside, now, okay, I got to take him where he wants to go. I'll get that inside shoulder, take him inside, and your running back will make you right. So when I say the running backs help this group, it's because the running back can make those edge blockers right every time just by reading their angles and going for it. You just can't get dominated. And when I watch the film on these guys, especially AJ, they do a good job of getting to that outside and taking that overhang defender, whether it's overhang or the DM, exactly where they want to go. With the DN, man, it's just you're going to lose some of those battles too. To me, those are the best athletes on the football field or explosive DNs. So it's a dance that you have to play, but it's being aggressive with your hands and understanding your leverage in those situations.
All right, last question. I know that we're talking about A.J. Barner later. You have a hot take about A.J. Barner that we'll have later in the show. I want to talk about Elijah Arroyo to wrap this one up. When we get out there to training camp and you and I hit the field, and by that I mean the sidelines, after our show's over and you're looking at this tight end group, what are you looking for from Elijah?
Elijah, statistically, I need about 300 from him. 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 4 touchdowns. If you look at the way that Fleury used his tight ends over there, Shanahan used his tight ends over there with the 49ers, they accounted for 14 touchdowns. Kittles, Tungus, am I saying his name right?
I'm not sure.
And Farrell, right? 7, 5, and 2 when it comes to touchdowns. 14 touchdowns, 42% of the passing touchdowns over there. They will be used, especially in the red zone. So if they can be great in the run game, great in the red zone, and if Fleury mimics what the Niners did, this room should have a good year.
All right, coming up at 11:45, 1 hour from now, Bump is going to explain why A.J. Barner will be a top 5 tight end by season's end. Coming up next, Get Off My Lawn.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
The beautiful game is down to its last week, and a champion will be crowned this weekend. Bump here, inviting you to celebrate the final this Sunday at Silver Reef Casino Hotel. Make a whole weekend out of it. Here's what you do. You head up Friday and treat yourself to a delicious dinner at the steakhouse. On your way to dinner, become a free member of Reef Rewards, allowing you discounts on gas, dining, hotel, and the spa. Then Saturday morning, get yourself a tea time at Loomis Trails Golf. Man, make sure you get there early, check out the range, and walk around the historic clubhouse. After you're around, hit the spa for a massage or treatment and just unwind a little bit. Get those knots out. Sunday night, have some fun and enjoy dinner at the Cantina or Red River Cafe. Sunday is for football. Taking the final with some loud, excited fans at Porter's Bay Restaurant. Fresh off a big win, head home and plan your next weekend at Silver Reef. Maybe for Crazy Town, Howie Mandel, or Guns 4 Roses. All you got to do is take I-5 exit 260, silverreefcasino.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event going on right now through Sunday, August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Dave Wyman here, and the folks at Bellevue Rare Coins say higher prices have enticed more Americans to cash out their jewelry, gold, and silver items. Here's a story from a real customer. She walked into Bellevue Rare Coins with an old bag of jewelry, a little bit nervous, a little bit embarrassed because it was mostly old tangled chains and pieces she hadn't looked at in years. When they gave her the total, she couldn't believe what it was worth. Go see what your jewelry is worth with a free consultation. Bellevue Rare Coins is now in Linwood, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Bellevue.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Blackhawk Pro Painting reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring our children home safely. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Blackhawk Pro Painting. Family owned and proudly serving the greater Seattle area. For interior and exterior painting, online at blackhawkpropainting.com.
10 days
until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and summer's here at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can check out upcoming shows like the Pop 2000 Tour with Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, O-Town, Ryan Cabrera, and LFO on August 1st. Or relive the 80s with pop sensation Taylor Dane on September 6th. You can find tickets at snocasino.com and the full lineup, plus experience luxury with breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and play your favorite games. Elevate your next getaway. That's Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host, underwent Swedish CyberKnife treatment for prostate cancer. What's it like to go through the CyberKnife treatment?
You do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital. They say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It was just too easy.
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Swedish.org/CyberKnife Prostate.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really 3 keys to a great game plan with us. Number 1 is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number 1. Do you have the right coverage? Number 2, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Getting to the Mariners in 15 minutes with Ryan Roland Smith. Before we do, Bump, you've got 3 things to complain about today with Get Off My Lawn. What's first?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
July is the worst time for sports.
Truly.
For our job, it's the worst time of the year. Because right now I'm looking, okay, no MLB games today. NBA Summer League, I ain't watching that. I mean, unless Kobe or LeBron are coming back to play in the Summer League.
Yeah.
I ain't watching that.
I have bad news about Kobe.
NFL, absolutely nothing going on right now. We're talking about ownership and if D Spoon's going to get his contract. The WNBA had a game that tipped off at 9 a.m. Pacific time. 9 a.m. That's how slow it is out here right now. And this is probably a collab. Get off my lawn. You brought this to my attention. But then we get texts sometimes, and people are like, oh, slow work week. Oh, I already heard someone else talk about that. What else do you want us to talk about? Most of y'all don't want to hear soccer. I know you don't want to hear cricket. Right? Is there like a dart league somewhere that we can talk about?
Probably.
Like, is there a softball beer league y'all want us to talk about? Like, what else is there to talk about? If you understand, that's why you see myself, Bob, and Mike, and Brock take all of our vacation time during this time. It's like, you know what? I mean, Curtis and Stacey going to shine in July because I'm taking these days off because there's nothing for us to talk about. All right, so please don't hit us with these texts, like these sarcastic
Slow
texts.
news
No,
day.
there's nothing else to talk about. No, there isn't. And we got 4 hours to film, 12 segments to be exact. All right, so listen, just bear with us. We're doing our best here. Okay, we'll try to keep you entertained, but when there's a WNBA game tipping off at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday, that lets you know exactly where we are.
What I'm hearing is when you get the slow news day text, you want to take the hose and just really get off my lawn now.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
I'm going to stand on my porch with a dirty tank top and some cargo shorts.
Oh, no.
The tank top got like a little bit of barbecue sauce from the chicken I was eating. And I'm just going to sit there and yell at the kids, get the heck off my lawn. What else do you want us to do at this point?
This can sometimes be the most fun thing, but you can't complain when someone just wants to have a fun conversation. Yesterday, Curtis answered. There's a great video that we have on Instagram of Curtis guessing Mariners based on really not abstract clues, but stats. But like you aren't given much.
Stats with no context.
Stats with no context. Like that's the stuff that's fun for me in July.
Yeah. And these lists, I like the lists that come out. You know, best linebacker, best this, best that. It's all opinion based, and even if the opinions come from the higher up and guys who and women who do this, it's always something to debate. So listen, we're almost there. Hang with us. Training camp's gonna start here pretty soon. What do you say? Got 8 shows until training camp?
8 shows, including today.
All right, we got 8 shows, and we'll get it done for you.
What's next?
All right.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I watched some of the All-Star game yesterday, and I have a gripe. Listen, man, do we really need 30 minutes of introductions before that game?
No.
I'm standing there. They run out the little bell, and they're signing a bill like it's, we're back in, 1776.
Declaration of Independence.
And I'm like, half of these guys are from the Dominican, man. They don't care about this name bill or this day. You go out there, and you have kids writing. It's all the little, it was so dramatic to me last night. We got little sparklers. They're standing there with sparklers. If I'm a player, I'm like, I've been standing here for 25 minutes. Like, why? And then we got 3 performers. We're singing every American song that we can sing. Can we just play this game? Don't tell me the game starts at 5. Okay, tell me coverage starts at 5. We're going to do 30-minute intro, and then we're going to get to a game that had a whole bunch of strikeouts and no dang hits. That was the longest intro of my life.
Yeah.
I get it's 250th year. This is the beautiful country, and we want to acknowledge everybody and show love. And then I'm thinking about the guys who are standing there looking like George Washington, just standing there for 30 minutes, not smiling, nothing, just standing on the star for 30 freaking minutes. That was the longest intro I've ever seen in my life. Maybe I've just never paid attention to the All-Star presentation like that, but it was annoying. I turned it off, went and did something else, and came back, and they were barely wrapping it up. MLB, we need to do something about this. You lost. I guarantee you lost like 10% of your audience at some point.
I think so. You know what I'll actually say? The home run derby obviously didn't start at exactly 5 either. Shorter like the home run derby was quicker to start.
Yeah.
And I think it's the event way more people care about than just the All-Star game.
Way more. I will give Philly this. I love the passion booing at the home run derby. I love all that. And I think Philly, it looked great on TV too, man. The shots were dope.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man. I'm sitting here for 30 minutes waiting for an All-Star game to start.
They lied to you.
Don't lie to me.
Yeah. What's next?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Traffic was so bad today, it took me an hour and a half to get to work today. An hour and a half. And then what my GPS does, it goes, oh, save 7 minutes, go this route. Oh, save 7 minutes. So initially, it looks like I'm saving 7 minutes, but I'm not saving anything because traffic just piles up or whatnot. So for the first time in a while, I drove through the UW campus. Everyone talks about how pretty UW campus is. It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I'll give you that. But y'all students' awareness is so bad. I'm driving through that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Scooters everywhere.
Yeah.
Heads down.
Yeah.
No eye contact with nothing. I'm like, hold on. Y'all realize that people make mistakes out here, right? These students were just head down, scooters riding. Two people on a scooter, that's dangerous. You're riding with your girl, and that's the biggest trust of all time. If you're riding with your dude on a scooter, you trust him like that, that's true love right there, because I ain't trusting nobody on that dang scooter. It was chaos going through I don't know what street that is. It wasn't actually through UW campus, but you go up that hill, then it's on your left side. Anyway, I was amazed with how little attention these students pay when they are walking, and it's rush hour. There are cars everywhere.
I was one of them.
Were you? You guys thought you owned the streets, huh?
Well, that road isn't often, there's no heavy traffic on that road ever. And it does go through campus, not like Red Square, but it goes through campus. So you're routinely crossing the street to get to a number of buildings. No, I don't walk to a crosswalk and cross it. I think what it more is than just something unique to UW is young people are always unaware of people around them at all times. Anyone who has a teenager, including you, I'm sure can attest to this. I've complained all the time about just walking through a grocery store. Our show ends around when let's say a high school would get out. So there's always high schoolers if I stop to get groceries on my way home. They'll run into you or teenagers don't pay attention to anything around them because fittingly it's age. Their whole world is very small.
They run this apparently.
But that's just age.
What I'm going to do next time, I'm going to be stopped at a red light and there's going to be some young person walking across the crosswalk with because I always look left, right, make sure all the cars are stopped before I walk. Boom. I'm just gonna honk and scare them. You know what? I'm just bow. Just pay attention. Get your eyes up. I was in a parking lot the other day, and I'm going slow. I wrap around, and the kid just runs out in front of my car, and I stop, and he sees me, he backs up, and my dad mo kicked, and I roll down the window. I go, "What you learn? What you learn?"
To a stranger?
Yeah.
To another person's child?
Yes, what you learn.
What did he say?
He was like, I got to be careful. I go, good job, man. Be careful.
God, he actually responded?
I kept it pushing. Yeah.
I'm surprised he responded.
It takes a village. You got to teach these kids, man. They be tripping.
Oh, my God. Mariners TV and radio analyst Ryan Roland-Smith joins us next.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away. 10 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
And nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Sports.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Wayscarf Ford is celebrating their 104th birthday in Auburn. How's that possible? It's all about the people, employees and customers just like you and me. The Wayscarf Way, 104 years of service, trust, and community. Wayscarfford.com. That's wayscarfford.com.
Seattle summers are sneaky, so when the heat wave hits, it hits like I used to. Dave Wyman here. Fast Home Services has you covered with an AC tune-up for just $59.99. First-time customers get the $99 diagnostic for free. Heating and cooling done right by the local team since 1986. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate. Or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations. And save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best. But I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hi, Chef John Howie here. For 24 years, my team and I at Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar have called Bellevue home. We serve fresh, locally sourced seafood, farm fresh produce and poultry, and great steaks. At Sea Star, we like to say there's something for everyone, from the carnivore to the pescatarian to the vegetarian. Come see for yourself at Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue. SeaStarRestaurant.com, SeaStarRestaurant.com.
Summer is for letting it rip.
Swung on and missed, ripped it right by it. 7 scoreless innings. Marvelous Miller again.
Summer is for showing out.
Swing and a miss. Woo, 6 up and 6 down.
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Logan Gilbert, he's knocked down a dozen in a row.
So pump your fist, call your favorite Walter, and head to T-Mobile Park because our pitchers are rolling. From George Kirby to Senor Smoke.
Up in the attic at 101. Nothing but the express tonight for Andres Munoz.
Matilda would be proud. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town this weekend for a West Coast showdown against the San Francisco Giants, including 2000's Fireworks Night this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Plus, don't miss a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds with value games on Monday the 20th and Tuesday the 21st. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The American League has struggled this year, but its stars shut out the National League team 4-0 in last night's All-Star game. 3 of those runs put up in the first. Tonight, it's the ESPYs, and the Seahawks and JSN are nominees in 2 big categories. Seahawks up for Team of the Year against 8 other nominees. JSN, one of 4 nominees for NFL Player of the Year.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Still to come in hour 2, is Adam Silver bluffing? Plus some concerning sound about the arena situation in Portland. That's coming up in the timeline at 11:30. Earlier, we did a preview. One of 8 that we're going to do is we have 8 more days, or 8 more shows, rather, until training camp, 10 more days. We started with tight ends, and it was on purpose, because coming up at 11:45, Bump is going to explain why A.J. Barner will be a top 5 tight end by season's end. Are you sure you want to go top 5?
Top 5.
Top 5. Okay,
Top
we're not
5.
doing tight end or top 10. Forget top 10.
Top 5.
Forget like maybe he cracks the list because he wasn't on ESPN's top 10 list. We're not aiming for 9 here. We're talking top 5.
Top 5.
That's a big jump. That's a big leap. But Bump's pretty confident, and he's going to tell us why. That's coming up at 11:45. We are not getting away from learning more about the Seahawks' new ownership. ESPN Sports business reporter Ben Strauss is joining us at noon. He's got an entire feature on this family because even though we started the show by saying, what's new ownership mean for Devin Witherspoon contract? And, what do we hope new ownership understands about the Seahawks culture? I think partly you just want to know, so who's this guy? And who's the family? And who's the son? That I think a who are they kind of question.
Yeah, good to know you.
Is good to know. Yeah, so that's coming up at noon.
Like a speed date.
Yeah.
We get like a minute and a half or something with each one.
What would you ask each one? Not each one, but what would you ask if you got one question to ask a new Seahawks owner?
What does football mean to you?
Oh. I don't know that would be my question.
Yours would take 30 seconds to spit out. And you'd have
no,
two
I
questions.
Wouldn't. That's not true.
You have 2 questions
That's
inside
not true.
of one.
No, I want to know. I want to know about their level of control they like to have over things.
Yeah,
that's what I'm curious about. I'm terrified of meddling.
See, I want to know if they think they know football. Because I'm like, what does football mean to you? And they're going to dive into.
That's a good, okay.
I'm like, all right. So then I can kind of get an idea of how they're going to operate.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, I get that. Because I was seeing the complaints of people going well, what if someone doesn't know ball? It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
They just need to know how a successful business runs.
Business.
The Seahawks are a business.
Yeah.
And you need to know how to, get the most possible money, put the right people in charge, win, be competitive. That's what I care about. But
I feel that.
I'm curious about someone who, if the son, Neil, is going to be overseeing quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he was in the 49ers analytics department, well, that's someone that's going to have some football opinions. Is he going to favor those opinions if they run counter to his GM? Those are questions that I kind of have. But anyways, we will try to have many of those answered when Ben Strauss joins us at noon. We're going to try to get a hold of Ryan Rowland-Smith. Before we get Ryan on, Bump, the All-Star break is already halfway through. Mariners are opening up a series here at home at T-Mobile against the Giants, who have been very bad this year. So they have an opportunity at least to kind of rack up some early wins. But I don't want to talk about that. We've said that about so many series and so many road trips. There have been a million times in the first half we've gone, they got an opportunity. They got a chance here, and they just haven't met the moment. So instead I'll say this. What's something you'd love to see coming out of the break from this team?
Something I would love to see is clean baseball and maximum effort in the outfield. Randy has the tendency to kind of stop running at times and not really lay out for a play that I think he can make. I think we saw that in Tampa Bay, I want to say. He kind of pulled up on a play he could have made. I want him to play not reckless out there, but really close
with
to
care.
It. Yeah, it's almost like he's afraid to make a mistake. I know some people might just say he's lazy, but sometimes it looks like he's afraid to make a mistake. I don't want to really extend for this ball because then a single turns into a double, right? But then there are plays where I'm just like, yeah, you're just being lazy on that one. So I want to see maximum effort in the outfield and then just clean base running. No more silly little league mistakes on the base pass.
Yeah, I'd love to see mistakes cut down. Things that are kind of in your control. You can't control whether or not you open Friday's game against the Giants and hit 4 home runs as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but I like the way that you and Mike have described it, where it's those are battles that sometimes you just lose. It's not always in your control.
Yeah.
Effort is in your control. Body language is in your control. And those are 2 things I'll be watching closely. When it comes to a name we'll be talking about a ton, Cal Raleigh, I'm not going to be looking for the 2025 version of Cal. I don't think we'll see that version. We might not see the 2024 version of Cal. And for that matter, 22 to 24 is kind of the same Cal, which is really consistent. So I'm looking for a better version of a 2026 Cal. I think a 2026 version of Cal is not going to have the power that he's previously had, probably because of that oblique, because of a lot of different reasons. Slumps happen, swing issues, whatever. That version is not coming to save this team. But what can a better version of 2026 Cal look like? I don't know, maybe it's someone who gets into more favorable counts. Jeff Passan looked at that a little bit.
Now, a lot of this is swinging at pitches that he shouldn't be swinging at. And once you put yourself in a disadvantaged position, yeah, of course at that point you're not going to have those types of successes that you did last year because you're compromised. And that's the most frustrating part of it all. It is self-inflicted compromise. And it's a bad feeling that burrows itself into your head. And, man, when you're in a slump, there is no worse place to be in the world because you feel like you are drowning and you're reaching up and looking for that life preserver, and somebody's standing there holding it above you just out of the reach of your fingertips.
Cal is clearly not his best self, but not only that, he doesn't have the power that he usually has. I'm done complaining if there's a 93-mile-per-hour fastball over the middle. I'm done saying, man, last year he would have sent that into the stands. What I'm looking for instead, can you get into a 2-0 count instead of an 0-2 count? Can you shrink the strike zone? Can you continue to draw walks? Can you get a single? And you know what? That's going to have to be good enough because I don't think he's 100% healthy. And I just think it might be a waste of time to complain that, like, a pitch in the middle of the zone, like, I can't believe he didn't launch that into the stands. He just doesn't have it right now. But there are other things within his control. Don't chase pitches that are elevated fastballs all the time. You know what I mean? Can you lay off some of those? Those are wins for this version of Cal, in addition to being good defensively.
At some point, as an athlete, it's either you're declining in age or your body just isn't working, like you're hurt. And what you have to do is adjust your game to who you are in this moment. And if Kyle's not 100%, and if he feels like, all right, I don't have the pop I used to have on the ball, don't try to hit bombs in. They're going to come, right? Kyle just has that swing to where if he connects, that thing's going to jump. Right, but it's a more mental thing. Like in those moments, don't feel like I have to hit a bomb here. Regular swing, listen to your body, listen to your mental. Man, that's the toughest part because I remember the first time I couldn't dunk anymore. I'm like, what? I can't dunk. Like I was like 30, 31, and I couldn't dunk anymore. I went up.
What's happening?
And I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, okay, well that part of my game is gone.
Yeah.
And let's adjust a little bit. Athletes have to go through that. We talked about Stephon Diggs yesterday about how he thinks he's no other number 2 receiver is better than him. But I'm like, yeah, your game has changed. He used to be an outside guy, great out the line, beat you deep. He adjusts. He moves into the slot. There are things that you have to accept as an athlete while still keeping that ego to make you think that you're still that dude. And I think that's something that Cal has to do right now. And maybe his body gets healthy. Maybe he starts feeling good again. Maybe mentally he taps into a different place. But at this time, you have to take what your body is giving you.
Now, I will say this. Jeff did not believe by any measure that this is like who Cal is just for good. He still thinks he's going to fix himself.
Cal Raleigh will fix himself. I absolutely firmly believe that because I believe in the person. And I think this first half, just as last year, guys, we talked about this is probably the 99th percentile of what Cal Raleigh is going to be. I think this year, or this first half in particular, is the first percentile of what he can be.
I think he's right. I think that way too many people are comparing last year to this year instead of this year to the 3 years that preceded 2025. He's led all catchers in home runs every single year since 2022. And that's not going to happen this year. I think that's also indicative of a power that he would normally have, clearly not being here. I don't know why. I don't know if he fixes it, but I do think there are things in his control that he can do this year where the 2026 version of Cal, instead of being at the 1 percentile Cal, maybe get to 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be your best version. There's no saving your season statistically, and I don't know that there's a saving your season physically with an oblique.
That's tough too, man, because athletes lie sometimes. Oh, I don't chase numbers. I don't look at that. Yeah, you do. You definitely do. You think Cal's not looking at his slash and be like, dang, I got to get this up. I have to do this, have to do that. Because it's self-motivating, but sometimes it could kill you too because now you're chasing. And literally in baseball, you can chase, and it feels like that's what's happening sometimes. And that's all part of just accepting who you are and what this season is. Like you say, he's not going to turn around and be OPS and over 900 and hit 35. That'd be nice, though. Please hit 35 bombs in the second half. But it doesn't look like that's where the season is going for him. But as an athlete, how do you come to terms with that? How do you just tell yourself, okay, well, I'm not having the season that I had last year. My slash is looking not so great. Where can I contribute to this team? And I said yesterday, he's got to just have some moments, have a few moments, and maybe those moments will snowball into something. But you can't chase numbers. You can't chase performances. You just got to kind of be where you are.
815 says Stacy needs to ask Cal if he's hurt and not stop with the I think journalism. I think the vast majority of people assume that no player's at 100% right now, that Cal is healthy enough to be an active part of this team, but that obliques are tricky injuries. Bump has talked at length about how having an injury, especially if you spend time recovering it, can still linger mentally for you, and it can change the way you do things. If it affected Cal's swing in any way, and now he's healthier but needs to figure out a way to fix the issues that the injury led to, that's also a factor here.
Yeah.
I don't think Cal should be on the IL right now. I think that this is not a version of Cal that looks normal. That's all.
Yeah. And you'll take his 70%. His 70% is better than a lot of 100s out there.
Some talk about Randy Rosarena from Jeff. He said he's a very complicated person, and this is during a conversation. I like where Brock and Salk went with this one, where they were like, Randy's been their best bat all year long. But people have wondered about not just his defense, but about effort. What do you have to say about that? Should they trade Randy? Does that sound absolutely insane? Now, I know you have an opinion about this. Let me play you what Jeff said.
Randy Rosarena is a very complicated person. Randy Rosarena, when you see him running, and I use that term in air quotes, and then pulling up feet in front of a ball that he absolutely should have caught in left field, that I think that has an enormous effect on everybody else, not just on the pitcher who's like, dude, I worked hard for that out. Could you at least not have worked a little bit harder to try and make it a reality? And everyone else in the field, man, why are we still here with one fewer out on the board than there should be? It's psychologically, it's a real problem. But because he has been so effective this year, it's almost like, well, that's our Randy.
A little more here?
Oh, I think you're absolutely open to that possibility. I just don't know what that looks like. And if we remember in the Nomar deal, they got back Orlando Cabrera, who was a clearly lesser player than Nomar Garciaparra. And, I don't remember what the Red Sox record was when that trade was made, but I feel like in order to get rid of the guy who has been your best player, you at least need to be in some slight position of strength to suggest that, we're going to ship off someone who's better than anyone else we have right now and get someone back who's probably not as good. But this is a good thing. This is a good thing. That's a big leap to make.
Bump, your thoughts on Randy, on the question about trading him.
During my 90-minute drive to work today, I was listening to Brock and Salk, and I hopped on late. I forgot, I was talking to my mom or something, and I hopped on late, and I heard trade talk for Randy. And it's the first time that I've heard of it, right? But it makes sense. You're getting to the trade deadline, and you have this guy who seems like he might not be happy here, but not completely happy. At least that's the angle that Brock and Salk were taking. And I'm like, man, who they been talking to? I know that there was some drama to start the season, but if they're hearing he's not happy now, then that means that feelings are still lingering. So you add that into what you need at this point and who can bring you that value. And we've been talking about Castillo this whole time, right? Maybe Castillo will be someone that can give you some value. But in reality, Randy will probably give you more. Why? Because he's playing some better baseball right now. He has, a couple more, be here for a few more months. So initially I was like, nah, I wouldn't do that because you're going to trade away your best bat when everyone else is struggling right now.
I was going to say Key, and maybe the only one that's really consistent.
And you're probably not going to get something that's equivalent to that either. You're hoping that whoever comes in contributes, these other guys get going, Julio, Cal, Naylor, and the vibes are just better in the locker room. Because just going off of what I heard the homies in the morning say, Brock and Salk, it sounds like the clubhouse ain't great, or Randy isn't in a good place. Me, I ain't touching him. You're going to finish the season off. You're going to hold it down for us while these guys get going. And we're all going to be professionals and show up to work every day and do what we have to do, because when everyone is on point, this is a contending team. Just we haven't seen them on point. So I wouldn't touch it. I understand why it's a conversation. And they threw out some scenarios to where, trades weren't even, but it worked out for each team. But I don't trust that with this organization. You gotta keep your best guy.
There are a lot of teams that have successful runs, get through the playoffs, maybe even get to and win championships, where there are people in that locker room, in that clubhouse, that do not get along. I think the two common denominators that those clubs will have are, number one, really strong leadership that can make clear that we all have a shared goal, and number two, talent around that person, to where there's not this feeling of resentment that might grow with that person, or it's harder for that person to just feel like, well, none of it matters. It's like, well, no, everyone else is playing. What do you mean none of it matters? Like, don't you want to be here? Like, you know what I mean? There were Seahawks players that didn't get along in 2013. There were also a lot of talented players on that team and a great head coach. Yeah. And so you need one or both of those things. And I don't know. Right now it feels like I trust that, look at Dan. I trust Dan has a good relationship with Randy, but it just feels like there needs to be maybe a little more direction if what Brock and Salk are hinting at is true, and there's kind of a chasm here. Or other people need to start hitting, and the vibes are right, and this doesn't matter as much.
Winning changes everything.
Winning changes everything. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what would be ideal for this Seahawks offense?
I said this before, but I was thinking about it on my my drive up this morning, and I hope that the 5 offensive linemen we had to end the season last year are the 5 who start the season this year. So we're talking Sundell, Zabel, Bradford, Abe, and Cross. And there's no knock on Bo Stevens. If he wins the job, he wins the job. But if we have the 5 entering the season that we finished with last year, that means that everyone came back healthy. Everyone understands the playbook. Anthony Bradford has gotten better. He fought off the rookie. There's going to be more continuity, more communication with Sam and this offensive line coach, understanding of the offense. I don't mind inserting rookies or guys coming in and competing, but that shows me that everyone took a step forward. There's some guys who are going to be there, right? Abe and Cross are going to be there. Everyone talks about Sundell. I talked about him yesterday. Get off of Sundell. I think he's a good center. And Zabel's going to be Zabel. It's really the right guard spot. We're looking at Anthony Bradford. If he can be the starter week 1, that means that collectively this offensive line took a big step forward. If he's not the guy, that means he took a step back, and now you got to deal with rookie woes. Zabel did a great job. We heard Zabel talk about just how hard the season is. But if those same 5 are there, that means that it's a bigger jump forward than having Bo Stevens come in and be that guy week 1.
Second down. Quarterback willing. What receiver? It's so wide receiver to also say, assuming the quarterback. Quarterback willing. What receiver will crack the ESPN top 10 list in 2027?
I got 3, and they're all dependent on their damn quarterback, man. I got Emeka Egbuka out of Tampa Bay. Is Baker Mayfield, is he going to be the guy there next year? I think he is, right? But you need your quarterback to play at a high level. Emeka started the season and was one of the best receivers in the game. I think got banged up with a hamstring a little bit and then fell off a bit. Drake London. I mean, who's going to be his quarterback? But we
don't even know yet. They don't know yet.
They don't know. He's getting $35 million a year. He's the 3rd highest paid wide receiver in the game right now. But who's going to be your quarterback? He's got the talent. He could be a top 10 dude. Let's see how that ends up. Malik Neighbors, all right? Dart. First off, get healthy. He was at a softball all-star game running. Didn't look great, right? But with Jackson Dart over, I believe in Jackson Dart. I believed in him when he was at Ole Miss, and people were calling me crazy on the CW. Like, why do you like him so much? I'm like, listen, I just like
Way to take your claim.
Hey,
I believed in him when he was nothing.
He's good. Malik Neighbors, he can be a top 10 guy. And I think there are other receivers that could be in it. Obviously, the OG, A.J. Brown, could be it. Terry McLaurin, one of the most consistent receivers the past decade or so, could be in that thing as well. Jalen Waddle in a new offense over there with the Denver Broncos. But I'm going with some young cats. Let's see what these 3 can do.
Can I ask a follow-up question to the Drake London one?
Yeah.
That quarterback competition very much open between Michael Penix Jr. because the regime that drafted Michael Penix is no longer there, so they don't really, you know what I mean? It's truly a quarterback battle, an open battle. Tua Tagovailoa being the other. Is there one of those quarterbacks that gives Drake London a better shot to break into the top 10?
Man.
Good question, Stacey. Thank you.
Stacey, great question. Michael Penix is unproven. He's had his moments. I rewatched QB, the old QB, when him and Kurt were going at it. That's what I do now. I just watch old stuff. But I think Tua has had a year or two where he looked like a Pro Bowl type of quarterback. So I got to go with the guy who has shown that he can do it. I think Michael Penix can develop into that. But if Tua's in the right place mentally, if he just stopped talking to the Dane media the way he talked about him or to him last year, that'll help a lot. And maybe him being in Atlanta will do something to him. So right now I'm going to go with Tua. And it ain't no UW stuff. I like Penix, but Tua's had a year or two where he looked good.
A year or two.
A year or two.
Third down. What do you think the Seahawks need for this defense to play at a high level?
So I talked about
continue to play at a high level.
Huh?
Continue to play at a high level.
Did I set you up? My bad.
No.
Last year we got contributions from guys that we didn't know we were going to get. At least one guy. We knew he was going to be good, but not that good. Nick Amawari. This year you need one of those rookies to hit. Just one. It can be Bud Clark. It can be Julian Neal. It could be, you know what, a guy that you got over from the Colts, Rodney Thomas, right? You need somebody who you're not expecting a lot from to contribute at a high level. And if it is a young guy, that's even better because now you know you got him for 3 or 4 years. So you need one to hit. I think with everyone else coming back, these guys are going to be just fine. Defensive line is going to be good. Second level is going to be great. Safeties are going to be good to go. If Ty Okada and Julian Love, but if Bud Clark wins that job, okay, let's get it. If Julian Neal gets on the field, let's get it. Those are the two that I'm really looking at and saying, one of y'all need to hit. We can sneak in Riley Mills because I still see him as a rookie because he only played like 30-something snaps this year. But you need one of those dudes to hit on defense. If they do hit, they're going to be all right.
Fourth down. What's something you think will happen in the NFL within the next 5 seasons?
We're going to get an NFL MVP that's a running back. And the reason why we're going to get it is because you got guys getting 1,200 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,200 yards, and then on the other side, 800 receiving, 900 receiving. That's the way the game is going. I think it's going to have to be one of these guys, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then sprinkle in someone else in there. But I think within the next 5 years, we'll finally get ourselves an MVP that is a running back.
I don't think you ever will.
You don't think ever?
Because here's what I think.
Josh Allen, huh?
I think that I think that for a running back to get it, it's going to have to be a guy that also has a ton of receiving yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, 1,000. We've seen that.
He's also probably going to have a quarterback that's throwing a ton of yards and is going to be a front runner for MVP.
We're going to get it. And when we do, you owe me donuts.
Deal. Fair. Fine. Coming up next, is Adam Silver bluffing?
Those in the know that you can't miss Blue 88 with Brock Heward.
Owners in general and how they make their money and how they run their team. What did you learn as you took a deep dive?
Yeah, it's kind of all over the board. I can't tell you that Arthur Blank is a better owner because he started Home Depot. There's just not a direct through line.
We're not saying you'll get dumber if you're not listening, but you ain't getting any smarter if you miss it. Get Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More.
The
fast internet speeds.
Got the geeks to go big, bring 'em the game.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantifiers on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. We know this, Shannon. When the weather warms, our baseball team's bats usually get a little hotter. We also know that maybe we've been sitting around and we try to crank things to 100 and our bodies don't quite react. As the weather gets warmer, do you see more folks at IRG?
Absolutely, Brock. You know, you just mentioned it. As the weather warms up, people think they need to get outside, which is great. But sometimes they get outside, they start too fast, too quick, and they don't warm up. They don't stretch. They don't do preparation. If you find yourself in that situation where maybe you overdid it, you're hurt, you got a bruise, a bump, an ache, get a hold of us at IRG PT. We'll do a free injury screening, and we'll give you some guidance, some recommendations to keep you on your path of healthy function, pain-free activity.
How cool is that? A free screening for you and no referral needed. Just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit irgpt.com and schedule your appointment today. Over 40 convenient locations. IRG's in your neighborhood. irgpt.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
What if I told you a local credit union is giving members up to $30 per month just to make everyday purchases? Dave Wyman here, and when I heard about the offer from Harborstone Credit Union, I said, sign me up. And that's what I did at harborstone.com/cash. You know, I'm not a tech-savvy guy, but opening a checking account was easy enough for me to figure out. I got my PNW Cashback checking account for free, no fees or minimums, and when I make everyday purchases with my Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card, I earn up to $30 each month. My wife loves it when I get cash back on gas, groceries, coffee, travel, and lunch. All categories count toward your cash back. You can even tap to pay. If you live, work, or worship in the state of Washington, sign up for a membership with Harborstone Credit Union and get the PNW Cashback free checking account. Open your free account online like I did at harborstone.com/cash or visit one of their 29 branches across the Northwest.
Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
The countdown is on.
10 days.
Until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Hi, how can I help?
Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager.
I see.
Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning?
Yes. We have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
I feel better already.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Let's go around the diamond. Brought to you by Klein Jewelers. Edmonds joining us now. Mariners TV and radio analyst Ryan Rowland-Smith. Ryan, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
We're good. We were just talking about some things that we're going to be watching coming out of the All-Star break, and I decided to erase, I'm not looking for 5 home runs in the first game against the Giants. I'm looking for little wins, for small things. So what's a little win that you'll be looking for?
A little win would be everyone coming in and erasing the last 2 weeks of the first half. And what I mean by that is basically on the field, watching these guys not press so much with runners in scoring position or doing some of the getting some of the little wins like you're talking about. Like you watch teams like the Rays, you watch teams like the Brewers. I don't want to compare the Mariners to that because I think there's more of a presence in the lineup in regards to slug and everything else. But I think that from out the gates, when you're playing the Giants, I think you are putting yourself in that spot because you don't have the slug. You don't have that track record from the first half. You don't have the OPS and the slug. You're the bottom 5 team in the league in both those departments. So I think that, coming out the gates, if that's where you're at right now, and I'm not saying that's going to be the same in August and September, I think there's going to be more of an opportunity to not have to rely so heavily on moving a runner an extra base or putting the ball in play simply, with runners in scoring position. But out the gates, that's what you need. That's what you need. That second game in Tampa, when you go 0 for 6 with 5 punch-outs, you're not giving yourself any chance at all, and that goes without saying. So I think that those are some of the little wins I'm looking for. Put the ball in play, do the little things now. You build off that, you create that, and then that slug's going to come. Like there's no way, you look at this team from the first half and say that's what's in front of them. That's not what is in front of them at all. What's in front of them is some guys just performing like their typical track record indicates. And that's not Cal having to hit 60 home run pace. That's Cal just doing damage to fastballs. It doesn't last all season long where he can't get to that hitter at the top of the strike zone. That's Josh Naylor hitting with a little bit more extra base hit in his game. That's getting a Brendan Donovan back. So the little victories for me is going to be out the gates, just the putting the ball in play, manufacturing, because that's where you're at right now, but that's not the way it's going to be August, September, moving forward.
Ron, I listen to people talk about this team who don't watch them every single day like we do, and they're like, there's contenders. I still believe in the Mariners, and it's hard for me to nod my head when they say it because I've been living this, right, every single day with these guys. But when I step back and I look at the roster and the potential, I'm like, I guess they still are. What are your thoughts when you hear a national voice say, you know what, I'm still picking the Mariners as one of these World Series contenders?
I watch the team every day too, Bump, like you do. I put it this way. If we get to the end of September and we're not AL West champions or not in the playoffs, I will be beyond shocked. And I'll be like, a lot of things have to go completely wrong for that to be the case. Now, that doesn't mean that it's just automatic that Matt Brash comes back and fills that huge void in the bullpen. I mean, he is really missed. And let's be honest, I mean, he's had a track record of injuries. But, with that being said, he's coming back. And if not, well, then you're going to have to just sacrifice. It's going to cost you, and you're going to have to fill that bullpen up. I'm sure we're going to get into trades in just a minute here or talk about what they need in regards to adding from outside. But I don't see I see a Cal Raleigh salvaging the second half and not getting so wound up in trying to play catch up to what he missed out in the first month or so, if that makes sense. I think he's gotten to that point now where we're looking at mid-July and he looks and says, you know what, I'm taking a breath. I had a really rough first half. It was a nightmare first half with some of the injuries and obviously the production. Let's just go out and do the little things and salvage a little bit. And if that means him salvaging, that's the home run rate just a little bit higher than what it is right now. That doesn't have to be the 60 home run rate, right? Like I said earlier. And so, it's to answer that question, I still it's not from someone who doesn't watch the team every day. It's someone, who watches the team every day and says, you win 5 straight, you take, 6 of 8, these kind of wins as you finish off July, getting into August. and you add a little bit, you do have to add. Unfortunately, you have to add. It's going to cost you, and this is the time, because remember too, not to go beyond what the question was, but this is that half a decade run where you made the playoffs last year, you won the AL West championship. You should be winning the AL West championship the next 5 years with what you have as a foundation of this team. However, starting pitching that you have already, Kirby, Gilbert, Brian Wu, I'll throw Emerson Hancock in there. Bryce Miller is going to be $6 million compared to $2 million. It all gets more expensive in 2 to 3 years from now, very expensive 2 to 3 years. So this is that window, and I think that the Mariners know that, and this is a window to have a really good run. So, yeah, I am still on the perspective of they will be in the postseason. I'd be disappointed if they didn't win the AL West championship, win the AL West. But, yeah, that to me, I see them in the postseason with all that we just witnessed in the last, 8 days or whatever.
Jeff Passan earlier with Brock and Salk talked about, I'm getting back to your point about Cal and just kind of trying to shrink the zone a bit. He talked about, maybe Cal can also set himself up for success by just getting into some better counts. And sometimes he digs his way out and it's impressive, but you frequently mention on the broadcast just missing those or whiffing even on those elevated fastballs. Is that because is his profile as a hitter someone that just likes to take advantage of fastballs there? Like, why is it in that area where it's much harder for him to lay off? Or is that just common for hitters?
Well, there's two areas. There's elevated in the strike zone, and then there's elevated above the strike zone. You have to have, ridiculous bat-to-ball skill to get that pitch up and above. Good example. Like Brandon Donovan's a good example. He can get that plus outside the strike zone. Cal does damage inside the strike zone elevated when he's Cal Raleigh, 60 home run Cal Raleigh. When he's not 60 home run Cal Raleigh, and you try and go above the strike zone because it's, say, a 2-2 count or even count, whatever, you get that's a really dangerous spot to be in. Right now, he's not getting that. And what you're noticing too, and going back to that series in Tampa, and even going back to the series in Miami, he was pulling balls hard foul, and they're all heaters or little breaking balls getting in on the hands. Why? Because he's cheating to that pitch, because he knows he's late on the fastball. And so what he's doing, he's trying to cheat a little bit, and when he cheats, that's where the chase comes in. I don't think he needs to get in better counts at all. I think he's doing a great job in regards to pitches per plate appearances. And I think he's getting in really good 2-1, 3-1, and 3-2 counts. And by the way, he, a couple of walks in that Tampa series, that really good ball, pitch recognition, and strike to ball, discipline, really good. And typical what we saw last year. But he's just not the timing. He's way out in front on pitches that are up and in. And then what happens when he gets deeper in the count? Then all of a sudden the chase comes because he's trying to jump all over that pitch. So, look, easier said than done. I can sit here all day and say, just handle that pitch and you're going to be back to normal. It's not that simple, because his confidence – I spoke about this the other day. His confidence right now is low, right? He's in a situation where he's letting people down. He's letting himself down. He won't admit this, but he's coming off let's do a little quick timeline here, right? He went from signing an extension. He's the unwritten team captain, or he is written in team captain. He's got that kind of presence. What he does with the pitching staff, goes out and hits 60, MVP runner-up. He's doing every endorsement locally, nationally. We know that. He's everywhere. Then he comes into 2026. He's supposed to be the catcher on Team USA, beating out Will Smith for that job, and he's off. Something's off. And then all of a sudden he, takes this big breath in, thinking, "Oh no," and gasps and thinks, "What's going on?" And he starts to panic a little bit. And then layer on the fact that doesn't produce out of it in April, has the oblique injury, tries to play through that. You got to layer some of these things on and say, man, all of a sudden now you're at the All-Star break and you're looking up on the big scoreboard, and man, that says 8 home runs, or 7 or 8 home runs. What happened? And he's sitting there losing sleep at night. That's where he's at right now. And so the tough thing is, you can show him and everything we're talking about a heat map and saying, look, this is, and you can show the other team the heat map too. So this is where the swing, this is your black hole in your swing. And he looks at that. And so what does he do? He tries to make up for it, cheat a little bit, and get to that spot earlier. And that's why he's seen all that pull heavy, in the air, pull foul, hard contact. because his timing's off, because he's just cheating to get to that pitch. So that's going to be big for him. Sometimes it just takes a couple to say, okay, I'm okay. I'm recalibrated. I can get to that pitch. Now you can't pitch me there all the time.
He is Ryan Rowland-Smith. Thanks so much for joining us, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. All right, I teased this earlier. We're going to get back to Adam Silver with some interesting things to say about the Blazers.
Exclusive coverage of the sale of the Seahawks on Seattle Sports.
Oh, it's caught JSN. Drags the defender.
ESPN NFL insider Seth Wickersham.
At the very beginning of the process, people told me that don't underestimate this guy.
With Brock and Salk.
No one seems to know that much about him because most of the people we know are in the sports world.
He's shrewd and smart. They wouldn't describe him as cutthroat, but he's someone who he never loses.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube now.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Do you have a wood deck that could use a little TLC this season? Start by giving it a good cleaning to remove dirt, pollen, or any mold or mildew. Then, if you're left with gray wood and decide you want to restain, use a wood brightener product first. Finally, when you're ready to bring life and color back into your deck, choose Penifin Ultra Premium Red Label Wood Stain. Its highly penetrating Brazilian rosewood oil formula provides superior protection for your wood deck. Penifin Red Label Wood Stain, on sale now at Dunn Lumber.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change presents Wisdom from the Road.
Summer means wide open spaces and a whole lot of extra miles. The last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. Out here, low oil or a weak battery is just an ambush waiting to happen. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check. These techs are trained to help spot issues early and keep you riding easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
Longer days, warmer weather, and a stronger you all start at Top Fitness. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and right now, check out the Top Fitness Big Sale in all 3 of their stores. Every category is on sale. Home gyms, weight plates, dumbbells, treadmills, and stair climbers like I've got. Great deals on display models, too. Have a home gym that needs some help? Get your rubber flooring and all the accessories you need. Get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Every summer, homeowners wait too long to find a house painter. There are only a few months left of good weather. Don't be the one left out in the rain. All Covered Painting is accepting a limited number of exterior projects this summer. If you want a licensed contractor that does the work right and backs it up with an industry-leading warranty, don't wait. Now offering a complimentary color consultation with a designer for specific projects. Get your free estimate at allcoveredpainting.com.
Dave Wyman here. Fast Water Heater has kept our water warm since 1986. That's just before my rookie year. Now they're a part of Fast Home Services, applying that same standard of excellence to your whole house. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, the name you trust to keep your family comfortable, safe, happy, and healthy. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
10 days
until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Your neighbors at Three Tree Roofing love telling you no. No high-pressure sales pitches. No Band-Aid fixes that will fail come wintertime. No outrageous pricing from some corporate-owned roofing company with headquarters thousands of miles from here. Three Tree Roofing is local, family-owned, and their team will build you a worry-free plan for your roof replacement, completely free. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and call today to say yes to an additional $500 discount. That's 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. You know our customers have a lot of fun with trying to figure out new and creative ways to use closeout bifold blanks to fill their needs. They can also be used as small double door units, access doors that are pre-hung, and even bypass doors. And with thousands of closeout bifold blanks in stock in Marysville and at our bargain barn, you can put your creative DIY mind to work. Come visit our showroom and bargain barn in Shoreline or on Cedar Avenue in Marysville. Also, be sure to check us out online at franklumber.com.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Adam Silver leading off the timeline here. Is he bluffing about how many offers the NBA has received in a potential Seattle expansion bid? The commissioner was asked about it at the NBA Summer League on Tuesday.
In terms of public, most of the groups that are interested have not been public. And that's any group that's chosen to be public is their decision. And so I wouldn't conclude that because there aren't other public groups coming forward, that therefore there isn't other interest in Seattle. There is. And I would also say same in Las Vegas. Some groups have been public. The majority of groups have not been public.
Do we think Adam Silver is lying or telling the truth? What he's saying, because he's notorious for word salads, is more than one bidder has been interested in a Seattle expansion franchise. You just don't know about them because they go to another school.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend who went to a school in a different county.
Yeah, no one knew about her.
No one knew about her.
But she was real.
Sorry. She was real.
She was real.
I think he's telling the truth and he's lying. I think he's probably blowing it up just a little bit. I think that's what you're supposed to do, too. You're supposed to sell this team, right, essentially. So what do? Gas it up. I'm sure there are some silent bidders or whatnot. There are people who don't want to be public. They just want to kind of move in silence. But I don't think it's ever as intense or attractive as any commissioner makes any situation out to be. So I think there are some out there, but there probably aren't as much as people might think.
He still says they're on track to wrap up expansion by the end of the year.
Over the last 2 days, there were discussions both at the committee level and before the board from Paul Taubman, our outside banker, about how the process is going, what he's hearing from the groups. As I said earlier, price is one component, but I think there was as much interest in who the groups would be, what the overall composition of ownership, and of course where they would play. I'm still hopeful, again, that this process would be wrapped up by year end, and I feel we're very much on track.
No big news items here, but at least some updates from Silver.
Yeah, some updates. He seems so excited about them, too, really getting people motivated.
I think he's in this in-between spot where he can't say, yeah, we have a bidder, here's who it will probably be that will get the team, and then expansion's going to be absolutely there because, as we know, Knicks owner James Dolan notoriously tried to get a group together to deny expansion as a form of leverage against Silver because the league would like to expand. The league itself, it's in its financial interest to expand and continue to grow. Adam Silver would probably like to have expansion. He probably doesn't care where, but he'd probably like to have expansion.
Liven up a little bit, Adam. Like, give us something. It seemed like he don't want to be there. He's worried about the sale. He doesn't sound too confident. I'm sure it's going to happen, but just listening to that, he don't sound like he want to be there.
Because he's an alien still learning how humans talk.
I guess so.
He's
Do
still
better.
figuring it out. Last one here from Adam Silver. He was asked about the arena situation in Portland. It didn't sound too optimistic about the recent back and forth between the Blazers and Portland City leaders.
Spent time with Tom and his partners here in Las Vegas, and what we are most focused on right now, the league office, is the deal that we discussed when we were in Portland in March. I was hoping more progress would have been made by now on that agreement, and it seems to have gone off track in various ways. And so I have a colleague, Joe Masco, who's day-to-day on it, but we're working with both sides to ensure that the Trailblazers can have a long-term future in Portland. But there are several open issues that still need to be resolved.
Look, I'm not going to pretend to know everything about the business of Portland and what's happening there with Dundon and the Blazers and all of that. The NBA doesn't... You're in part of these expansion talks because you allowed Seattle to be relocated with like the most shady workings possible.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the same thing happen to Portland just because you don't value it as a market. Where's it going to go?
Yeah. I think it'd be a mistake to not keep the Blazers in Portland, to not support them the way that they need to be supported. There's a history there too, man. And again, I'm listening to him speak, and this is the most down I've heard him. You know, he's not a very excitable person, right? He kind of stays in his pocket, but there's something about his tone right now that I'm just not liking. Maybe I'm reading into it. Maybe he had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's sick. I don't know. Maybe he's just not feeling good. But something about his tone.
Next up, have you checked out Netflix's newest season of Quarterback?
Oh, you got a new season out?
New season's just out.
No.
Okay, well,
Today.
So today, there was a preview that dropped here. We know fantasy football is a cutthroat game. Joe Flacco on the newest season of Quarterback. His son, Frank, benched his dad during a Browns game last year.
If Dad goes off, I'm going to crash out.
What do you mean?
Because I benched him.
I hope he goes off. If Dad has a good game, I'm going to crash out. It is wild.
That's real life. That's real fantasy football general manager life right there.
Wow.
And that kid made a business decision, and I hope it worked out for him. Did he ball out that game? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know.
I hope he balled out.
Probably not, unless there was that one game that he
He
had
was with
where
the
he
Browns.
No, but what was the game? Someone else was a backup, and it was like a battle of two old dudes, both backups for their respective teams at the time.
I think Flacco and Aaron Rodgers both started against each other
last year.
last year.
Flacco and Aaron, or was it Flacco and someone else? Flacco was one half of the equation. We had really low expectations for this game, and it ended up being one of the highest scoring games of the week. God, I can't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about? And it ended up being
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, yeah.
Thank
Flacco
you.
against Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
33-31, week 7.
And people were joking
Bengals
about,
win
like,
that one.
they're obviously not grandpas, but people were joking about, like, oh, these old guys, what's going to happen here?
Flacco did have a game last year where he threw for 470 yards.
I hope it was that game where his
No,
kid
it was
benched him.
that one was against the Bears. That was the one where
Really?
Caleb Williams hit Colston Loveland for like 80 yards in the final minute of the game
To win the game?
to go ahead, yeah,
To go
and
ahead.
eventually win, yeah.
Man, 480. That's interesting against the Bears. I don't remember how they were in terms of allowing yards or points, but they led the league in interceptions. I wonder if they got him a couple times in that game. Joe Flacco.
2 interceptions in that game, but still 4 touchdowns in that one.
Yeah.
470.
We want to know more about the new Seahawks owners, and we're going to ask someone who has a new feature out about them. ESPN's Ben Strauss joins us next.
If you're subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube, then you saw this Wyman and Bob digital exclusive first.
Leonard Williams, he's in the final year of his deal. Can you pay him somewhere around top of the market?
He's still absolutely at the top of his game. I don't see any kind of drop-off as far as his age goes going into his 12th year.
Beyond who he is on the field, who he is in that locker room, he's just such a leader and a presence.
The home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube now.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. Hey, Bob, you had a hip issue just like me. You went to see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. What did he tell you?
You got a torn labrum, you got a frayed ligament, you've got arthritis developing. He said, this isn't going to fix everything, but it will go a long way. I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff beyond jiu-jitsu.
So, just like me, Dr. Wagner does stem cell on your hip. How you feeling now?
I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now.
So whether it's a shoulder, a hip, a wrist, knee, or elbow, before you choose surgery, see our friend, Dr. Wagner first. He'll tell you if stem cell is right for you. drmarkwagnermd.com. Make an appointment at drmarkwagnermd.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Les Schwab Tires has always believed that taking care of people is the right thing to do. Today, that means more than trusted service. It means delivering real value, too. That's why we're lowering prices on hundreds of tires without changing the service and expertise you've always counted on. Consumer Reports named Les Schwab the best tire retailer for 2026. We'll keep working every day to earn your trust. See leschwab.com for details.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details, on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The American League has struggled this year, but its stars shut out the National League team 4-0 in last night's All-Star game. 3 of those put up in the first. Tonight, it's the ESPYs. The Seahawks and JSN are nominees in 2 big categories. The Seahawks are one of 9 nominees for Team of the Year. JSN one of 4 for NFL Player of the Year.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
The Seahawks have new owners, the Kosla family. Now, that deal will be finalized with the NFL owners meetings on August 26th, but we want to know, who are the Koslas? That's kind of where we're at right now. Perfect person to answer, ESPN's Ben Strauss. He has a new feature up on ESPN answering that very question, joining us right now to talk about the newest family here in Seattle. Ben, how's it going?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Your feature dives deeply into the patriarch. Is it Vinod or Vinod?
I believe it's Vinod.
Vinod. Okay, so your feature mostly dives into his life and kind of how he came up, but obviously that tells the story of kind of like the family, who they are, what they might believe in. How much of this did you know prior about him as a big figure in Silicon Valley, and how much of it was maybe surprising to learn? Was there anything in particular that stood out?
Yeah, I think that for those of us in the sports world, and I guess this is changing more and more, sort of the intersection of Silicon Valley and sort of the biggest places in sports, the NFL in particular. I wasn't super familiar with him, and then sort of spending time on his biography and sort of who he is, and sort of wrapping my head around just how much of a titan and sort of how much of a luminary he is in Silicon Valley, and sort of has been for years and years, going back to Google and OpenAI more recently, and some of the DoorDash and Square and some of like the biggest companies that we know today. He's been involved with. I think it sort of creates a pretty interesting dynamic. Just someone of this stature and the NFL. So I coming from the sports world, sort of just learning about how how important, how the way people talk about him in Silicon Valley was fascinating.
How does his background, his family's background with tech and all that, enhance a football organization, if at all? Like, what expertise are they going to bring to the NFL?
That's a good question. You've really had different people and different sort of ownership groups come into sports with all sorts of expertise, and some have been successful and some have not been successful. I think if you talk to people in sports, the people that tend to be the most successful are the people who hire people and let them do their jobs. And the more meddling and the more hands-on and the more of a micromanager you are as an owner, the less it works out for your team. And sort of one of those examples is David Tepper in Charlotte, who, has had a few run-ins in, with the Panthers and hasn't necessarily, passed with flying colors sort of the tests of ownership. So I don't know specifically sort of like what tech, sort of broadly, what sort of tech means to Seattle. I think what's more interesting is sort of just hearing him talk about life and leadership is sort of an interesting, and sort of, his favorite book is a book about lying and how, brutal honesty is the most important thing in life. And sort of like how that infuses an NFL organization, I think could be pretty interesting. But it's less the tech side and sort of like more who he is as an individual. I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, I thought the quote from that one was interesting, where brutal honesty is better than polite hypocrisy. I was like, well, that's because I'm a polite person, and I'm always like, well, I mean, he made a point with that one. Now, what's interesting is the family structure and who's going to actually be calling the shots here in Seattle. His wife, Neeru, was named as the primary decision maker, but it sounds as though their son, Neil, is someone who's going to be kind of a big power figure here. Do you have an understanding of how it might work in terms of who the point person could be?
I think she is going to be sort of the front-facing owner and sort of attend owners' meetings. I don't have a lot of information aside that, but I do know that the memo that the league sent out referenced her and the son. And actually just sort of thinking to answer to your previous question of sort of what's the impact on the team, I actually think that it was sort of interesting. There was an interesting story actually in the New York Times quite a while back about it was a lawsuit that he brought over property rights on a beach in California. So pretty convoluted, but the reporter went and spent time with him, and his attention to detail in his company's headquarters, Coastal Ventures, like down to the door handles and down to the, types of flowers that they were growing outside, the type of grass they were growing outside, was something that he was, deeply concerned about. And that's actually something that I think could be interesting, to watch, or sort of him or the family as they think about, how to run a football team, how in the minutia they will get, because this is clearly somebody who, sees the world in a very particular way and understands exactly how they would like things to be run. I think that's sort of an interesting dynamic for a football team.
Closa's been he has Twitter fingers. He's been going back and forth with Trump and with Elon. And I think one of the concerns that 12s have is that they don't want a Jerry Jones, right? They don't want a guy who's going to be out there all the time, put himself in front of the team. Is that a concern for you, knowing that he's not afraid to go out after the president and after guys like Elon Musk on social media?
I just think that so before you get to what does this mean for me as a fan, like there's a little bit of Mark Cuban here, right? Somebody sort of who's active on social media, somebody who has a very public profile outside of the NFL, somebody who's active on Twitter, but does a lot of media interviews, with traditional media too. That is not something that you see a ton of, from owners' boxes in the NFL. So I think the departure from sort of maybe, the more traditional owner is sort of interesting to note. And certainly the politics too, like that is absolutely something that the NFL is often super, super uninterested in touching. As far as, is this a Jerry Jones type figure? I don't know. You have no idea until it happens. Is it somebody who, understands their management role and hires people to delegate how they want the team run, and sort of they put a lot of that managerial interest and capacity into sort of who the team president is or who the coach is, or does it go beyond that? And I don't think you know the answer until it happens. But I think you've seen it work both ways. If this person does sort of remind you of Mark Cuban, he ran a pretty successful team in Dallas, while also being a pretty forward-facing person in sports. Jerry Jones has run a less successful organization while being a super front-facing person sort of in the media.
You make a couple things clear in your column, primarily, again, about Venu Khosla, that he has an incredibly impressive upbringing and turned that into a really impressive career. No connections into tech when he was younger, and then became a billionaire in the tech world. That he's meticulous, that he's very serious about honesty and principles and speaks his mind. Those can be good things with an owner. Like, I don't need a team owner to understand the X's and O's of football. However, Bump mentioned Jerry Jones, and you kind of mentioned Jerry Jones. There are early signs of kind of concern. I'm not saying this is going to come from the Khosla family, but maybe, Ben, in your experience covering sports business and looking around the rest of the league, What are signs of a good owner in a healthy organization, and what are signs of bad ownership?
I think that I'd sort of go back to what I said a little earlier. I think it's the people who spend most of their capital on hiring a team president or hiring, the very top layer of their team and then letting those people run the team. The further down the food chain somebody, an owner is reaching, I think that's usually not a good sign for an organization. But if somebody, understands leadership super, super well, which this family certainly does, can they find a team president to embody that and then sort of like empower that team president, or a head of player personnel or something like that? Like, I think that is sort of a much better path than somebody who really wants their fingerprints on an organization down to sort of who the backup kicker is. That is going to be a really bad sign.
I heard that John and McDonald were involved in the search for an owner. How much influence do you think someone like John did have? Because I love the way Jody operates, right? She kind of lets the coaches be the coaches, and she played the background. But in this situation, I mean, John is involved with football decisions and sounds like he had an influence here. What was that dynamic like?
That I don't have a ton of insight into, but, I think that working relationship between ownership and, again, sort of the super, I think on the business side and on the team side, the health of those relationships and the boundaries of those relationships are often, pretty clear on better functioning organizations and less clear on organizations that don't function so well.
Hey, I don't know that you have an answer for this one. Totally fine if not. I'm asking because I don't. The Seahawks are looking to make a pretty big extension with Devin Witherspoon. Jody remains obviously the chairwoman of the Seahawks right now. And I believe this will be finalized at the owners' meetings August 26th. Do you know if maybe with past organizations where there's been a transfer of ownership, if they kind of held off with contracts, or was it like business as usual with Washington or the Broncos or any other team?
I think that most of the especially if you have the same people in place, that would be pretty seamless. I think the question would come in if there are new people that ownership wants to hire, but sort of indicated there could have been some input here from people who are already in the building. That would suggest to me that this would continue on whatever track it was on before. But again, I don't have any insight into that one.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think any of us do into that one, but figured we'd ask a business reporter while we're on.
You got to give it a shot,
Yeah, while we have you, just to say like, hey, do we know how that works? But who are the Koslas? Meet the family set to buy the Seattle Seahawks. The latest from Ben Strauss up on ESPN right now. Thanks so much, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, normally we would get to headline rewrites here, but I have another idea. Bump, you said yesterday, A.J. Barner's going to be a top 5 tight end by the season's end. And then a listener said, for what I need to know, hey, Bump, can you tell me why you think that? And I don't think they're not an AJ fan, but they wanted to know, like, what do you see from AJ that makes you so confident? We're not talking top 10. We're not talking honorable mention. We're talking top 5. So let's get into it here instead. Why is AJ Barner going to be a top 5 tight end by the end of the season?
For many reasons, Stacy. Let's go through who AJ is, right, on paper. 52 receptions, 519 yards, 6 touchdowns, played in 77% of the snaps. When you're looking at where he stands with tight ends as far as just grabbing the rock out the air, he's like a top 5, top 6 receiver when it comes to touchdowns, right? Just touchdowns alone for the tight ends. Watch film of this young man. Once again, watch a lot of film on him, but every now and then you have to be reminded exactly who this person is, man. And the first thing, I watched all of his or most of his catches last year, and you see him line up in a 2-point stance on like the wing. That's when he's like, He's squatting, has his hands on his thighs, right about 1 yard by 1 yard off the tackle. You've seen him attached to the line of scrimmage in a three-point stance when he has his hand in the dirt. You've seen him motion from one side to the other side. You see him in the slot, not very often, but you saw him back there. And then also we have the barnyard, right? He gets behind center, and he is like the tush push. So that alone, I just named maybe 4 or 5 things that he does pre-snap. Okay, the fact that they can move him around like that and they're confident with him, I think I've even seen him once or twice in the backfield as well, lets you know that he's versatile, and most tight ends are versatile and have to be versatile. So now let's talk about him as a route runner. Just catching the football in general, he has a good catch radius. So what that means is the ball doesn't have to be on his numbers for him to make that catch. There was a play against the Niners. He makes a diving catch. A couple plays against the Rams, one catch over the shoulder. To me, the hardest catch in football is the one that is over the shoulder. So him being able to catch a football over his shoulder or maybe adjust, turn his back and go up and get it, lets you know he's comfortable catching the football. There are some tight ends that can catch the rock, but they just don't look as comfortable catching the rock, and he does that. He's good with contact at the top of his route. Because when you think about tight ends, the main routes that they're going to run, they're going to chip, run to the flat. They're going to release, hit the seam. They're going to get to the second level, maybe run an option. They run other routes. He's caught touchdowns running corners and posts and all that stuff. But the standard routes for a tight end are those routes because you're typically running off of play action and you don't have enough time to do all the double moves and that good stuff. And a lot of tight ends just aren't fast enough to do that. So contact at the top of his route. When you're running those 5-yard routes or option routes, you're going to have a safety, a linebacker sitting over you, and your job is to influence them. Right, put my foot in on the right side, make it go left, make it go right. Same thing, body language. You're trying to move him, and a lot of the times when you're beat, what a guy's going to do, they're going to grab you. And grabbing is illegal but legal in the NFL at the same time because referees, if it doesn't throw you completely off, they're going to let you live or let the defender live and run with that. He's okay at the top of his routes with contact because he has good hands, good pad level. He's hard with contact. When it comes to those flat routes, he does a great job of selling the run. So what he does is, all tight ends do it, but there's a clock in your head that you have to have so you don't do it too fast or you don't do it too late. Your down block is if you're running the zone, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Most likely there's a play action going away from you. You're releasing to the flat. Sam whips his head around, boom, catch the football. And what's hard about that is sometimes you get that down block going and you don't get enough contact. So now that player just runs across and he gets the quarterback. Or you give him too much, right? So now when you try to release, he's stuck on you. It's a game you have to play to where you let him think he's winning, but you provide some resistance as well. He does a great job of that. Then he releases to the flats, catch the football, he's good to go. Another thing I saw with A.J. Barner are his tempo routes. There are some routes where you are just hauling, you know what, you're trying to get to your spot as fast as you can. Boom, put your foot in the ground, let's go. There are other routes where I like to call it putting the defender to sleep, right? You get up on the defender's toes quickly, you slow down, then you burst again. It's not a double move, but it's a way to grab the attention of the defender and just make them uncomfortable. They hate when we get up on their toes like that. He has a touchdown against Arizona, I want to say. Releases up the seam, gets to that second level, little slow down, boom, then he bursts and he goes. So he shows that he can play with his tempo. And there are some where you start off slow, then you speed up. It's all about feel, understanding what's going on around you and how much time do you have to influence the defense and make a move. So he's good with the tempo of his routes. He catches the football. He's great with contact at the top of his route. And he has that snap. There's some, if you look at like Justin Jefferson is probably one of the more violent receivers when he runs routes because he gets to the top of his routes and you throw your way down, you snap it out of 45. You do that, you're dramatic with it because it affects the defense, right? Every move that we make at the top of our route, for most routes, you try to be dramatic because it forces a reaction from the defense. He does a good job doing that. He's one of the better pass catching tight ends in the game right now. Now it's about opportunity. Is LaFleur going to give him opportunity? I went across these numbers a little bit earlier. When Fleury was with the 49ers, it's Shanahan calling the offense, but the tight ends accounted for 42% of the passing touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. Through 3 tight ends, you had 7, 5, and 2. We talk about a snap count. Kittle paid in 49% of those things. Granted, he was banged up this year too. Tungus in 35 and Farrell in 25 as well. They made up 23% of the passing yards and 18% of the receptions. The tight ends are involved in this offense. They have 3 solid ones there. I think you have 3 here. And knowing the philosophy of the Niners and how they did it, you would assume that he would bring some of that here. So that's the passing.
Okay. I have a follow-up. You mentioned a lot of things with him, and I know you have some other stuff to get to in addition to, I'm guessing, like the blocking and some other stuff that he's doing. I brought up ESPN's top 10 tight ends list. We got to this much earlier. AJ wasn't on it. It led to part of this conversation. So I'm just going to do a refresher. I'm only going to go with the top 5. Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, George Kittle, Sam Laporta, Tyler Warren, rookie season last year, but still had almost 900 yards, including 42 first downs, only 1 drop pass on 111 targets. What makes an elite tight end? Because there's a lot of good in the NFL. You have to be good to be in the NFL, but you're talking like you can see elite things. Some things. You didn't say like he can be the absolute best tight end. He's George Kittle 2.0. He's, oh my God, it's Gronk here again. But you're seeing things that feel like they can be at a really high level.
Yeah, well, as far as catching the football, it's route running, hands, and body language. If you have good routes, you got good hands, and you can move defenders off their spot, you're going to have success in this league. And he can do that at, 6'4", 6'5", 260, moving. So that's what I think is elite.
Okay.
So now I'm going to talk about him in the run game. He has good angles on the play side on outside zone. So play side means that he's lined up to the right side and they're running to his side, right? And when you're tight end, most of the time you're either kicking out the end or you're sealing the edge, right? If I'm kicking out the end, he's outside of me. We're running to him. I want to push him all the way to the sideline as far as I can, let my running back make a decision. Sometimes he might be lined up and his job is to seal the end because you might have a guard or a tackle pulling around and leading the charge. So now he's outside. You have to get to his outside shoulder, turn those shoulders, and not necessarily dominate the block, but just give your running back a chance to run behind you. He does a good job at both of those. Does he lose some battles? Yeah, everyone loses battles in the NFL. Myles Garrett, one of the greatest defenders of all time, doesn't get a sack every single play. Sometimes you lose those battles. He's good there. And then he takes advantage of the smaller players. Like he holds his own against the bigger players, but then he takes advantage of the smaller players. That's what you got to do. You got to be nasty out there. When you have a chance, you got this safety running up on you who's 5'11", 195.
Oh, no.
You got to put him in the dirt and do it with enthusiasm and violence. And he does exactly that. He's good in the pass game. He's good in the run game. I think he's going to have to be used properly, and I'm confident that Fleury is going to use him properly. But tight ends they're the new wave, man. They're the new wave because they're moving different. Ben Sola came on the other day, and he said...
Oh, I have the cut. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what he said about why he's heading for a breakout year.
Varner is a highly, highly impactful blocker. He is a glass-eating, crunch-your-face mask, sort of a physical presence. Matters a lot in the running game. And then as we saw with Clint Kubiak, he could get some of these big, designed, explosive receptions down the field. He became more of a security blanket as the year went on. So now in the Brian Fleury offense, obviously Fleury used to be the tight ends coach with the 49ers. He watched George Kittle for a long time. I think you'll see more of the passing game get put through Barner because Fleury knows how to build a passing game around a tight end who's not a Travis Kelce, light up in the slot type, but is a George Kittle type where, hey, you're really going to crunch in the trenches, create movement in the running game, and we're going to hit you on some big play action. So I think he's going to have a bigger receiving year than he had last year, and I think there's going to be more visibility on just how good of a blocker he is and how that opens him up in the passing game.
Sounds right.
I was going to say, is that the cut you were talking about?
It's not, but...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. I mean, he reiterated everything I just said, right? Fleury knows how to use these tight ends. He's been in that Shanahan offense before. And with the attention JSN is going to get, you might get a different look from this defense. But either way, if a tight end is in the game, he's attached to the line of scrimmage, you're going to have more bodies in the box regardless. That's how guys are going to line up. But it's about the influence. Mm-hmm. So that's why that running back room has to be at least average this year, because if they're average, tight ends can influence, run game affects second and third levels, JSN can eat, everyone else can eat. It's all a domino effect, man. It all starts in the box. If you're good with that offensive line, you got a decent run game, and your tight end is patient enough to influence defense and nasty enough to be effective in the run game, tight ends are the ones that have an opportunity to benefit the most because they influence what the defense is doing as far as how they line up in the box.
I'll say this. Bump is wrong about a lot of things like throw pillows. He has a horrible take on throw pillows. However, he makes some pretty good predictions. He really likes Sam Darnold, and what Sam was doing was before his breakout season with Minnesota, before the season started early in the year, and we all know what Sam Darnold did here in Seattle. This is pretty good stuff on AJ. So
Come on.
Full bragging rights when you're right. Taking a look around the NFL next.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
So you need to have a system where if a customer wants to transact online, shop their vehicle, find their vehicle, fill everything out, and do as much paperwork even online, and buy the car online, and then come in at an appointment time so they can be in and out in an efficient time, hey, my target goal is an hour. If you want to take half those steps, just know that, you're going to have another hour of transaction and paperwork, and then you're going to have roughly an hour of delivery. Some people even want more than that because it's a lot of technology. So it's making it available so a customer that wants to go 25, 50, or 100% meet them there where they want to be. If you want to take all these steps, I can meet you there.
Lee Johnson Auto Family. The LJ way.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
The biggest scuba sale in America starts next Thursday at Underwater Sports in North Seattle. Incredible savings for 3 days only. Divers Fair only happens once each year at Underwater Sports, 107th and Aurora Avenue North.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
The countdown is on.
10 days
until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Pests and poor installation have something in common. One call to Eastside Exterminators takes care of both. For more than 50 years, families across Western Washington have trusted Eastside Exterminators to eliminate pests for good and protect homes from crawl space to attic. With dedicated installation services and the state's only smart pest detection technology. From Everett to Federal Way, one call handles it all. 425-482-2271 or visit eastsideexterminators.com. Eastside Exterminators, family first pest control.
Come join Cascade Machinery and Electric, where your skills really matter. Family owned in the Pacific Northwest industrial equipment leader for over 100 years. They're hiring manual and job shop machinists in Seattle and Spokane. If you're a skilled machinist at any level that takes pride in your craft, come join the Cascade Machinery and Electric team. Visit cascade-machinery.com/careers and apply today. Cascade Machinery and Electric, powering the Pacific Northwest since 1918.
Law Tigers was born from a passion for the open road. Over 25 years ago, they saw a community that has each other's backs. Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I've been riding for quite a while now, and I'll tell you, it's nice to know these guys are in my corner if I ever need them. Law Tigers was built by riders for riders, protecting what matters most, your freedom, your family, and the ride. They're here 24/7, 365 days a year because riders deserve real support whenever they need it. Your case evaluation is always free, and there are no fees until your case settles. They're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced because they know how much those things mean to you. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Again, that's 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, because every ride you take, your freedom could be on the line. With Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Cook Law Office, PLLC, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we're going to start with the Seattle Seahawks, though. Gray Zabel was a guest on Chris Long's Green Light podcast and spoke on the love-hate relationship he has with the Rams.
I hate the Rams, but I love the Rams because it is mano-a-mano, best on best. Like, they know us well, we know them well. You're just sitting there and you're just trying to win every single rep, but when they're calling out plays, we can tell what they're doing based off the defensive scheme. It's fun football. Like that's why you play the game, to play teams like that.
Do you think that's a commonly held belief with players? Like, I think from the outside as a fan, you go, well, no, you hate the Rams because they're in your division, but maybe players, the more you respect an opponent, the more you love playing that game.
True competitors want to play against the best and see how they stack up. I knew every year SC was going to smack us, but I'm like, let's get it, because I'm going to get mine regardless. If you don't have that type of spirit that you hear from Gray Zabel, put down the ball, hang up the cleats, put the clubs away, because that's what you need right there if you really want to be great. And that's coming from a rookie. Right?
Yeah.
You can be a second-year guy now, but yeah, Gray Zabel is what you want all your athletes to be.
I was going to say, he's got a great mentality. Everything we hear about Gray Zabel, and like, what was the game in which he was like getting into it with another player?
It was Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
So I'm ready to die. So I'm ready to die. Let's go.
It's a great mentality to have on your offensive line. Like, I need slightly crazy individuals up front. That's kind of the rule. Zabel also shared how the offensive line found out about the Myles Garrett trade.
Charles Cross locker right next to me and stuff, and I'm like, hey, you're gonna have fun. I'll have my eyes out there. Don't worry. Like nothing. He's not gonna slip through a B gap. Like, let's roll. And he was like, hey, in the National Football League, everybody's good. You got to earn your paycheck every single week, and it's gonna be so much fun. Like, people skew away from competition. I'm like, you know what? Let's go see what we got. He's the best, probably best defensive end ever, and I kind of want to see how good I am. He might embarrass me a few plays. Awesome. Been there, done that. So let's go to war.
Bump, I can see you still love that mindset. You are nodding like, yes.
For sure. I remember Gray Zabel, the start to his career wasn't great. He was getting whooped out there. But what do? You pick yourself up, you watch the film, you bounce back, and you get better. You got to want to go up against the best, man. That's something I miss about competing in general, is just seeing how good you are. And sometimes knowing that person might be better than you, but I'm still going to get you a few times. I'm still going to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I don't like that this has already been kind of handed to the Rams, and not because of that, like, it's not fair thing, but because I think it takes away from how fun these games could be. Like, pretend that you weren't a Rams or Seahawk fan. you'd be like, I can't wait to see what this looks like.
There are matchups every week. I'm like, I want to see Baltimore against Bengals. I want to see, you got to love the comp.
ESPN's Louis Riddick says expect a breakout season from Devonta Smith now that A.J. Brown is in New England.
When you look at his production going back to 22, when A.J. Brown was there, and when A.J. Brown wasn't on the football field, look, Devonta, if you project that out over 17 games, you're looking at over 100 targets, about 105, 106 receptions, about 1,300 yards. That's what I would expect from him this year. I would expect him to go over 100 catches. He'd be a 1,300, 1,350 guy, pushing double-digit in touchdowns, because that's what the numbers say objectively. And when you watch him and you watch his career going back to Alabama, he's been a guy who has always thrived in the spotlight. He can thrive at any area of the football field, outside lane, inside lane. He's tough after the catch. He's tough in contested ball situations. I don't think anybody there will be surprised when he does have that breakout type of season.
You know what's interesting about him? He's had 100-plus targets all but 1 year of his career, and his career high was back in 2022, his second season in the league, 136 targets, also career high in yards, obviously. Over 1,000 yards 3 out of 5 seasons. I mean, I'm wondering what a breakout looks like for Devonta Smith, because it's not 100-plus targets, 1,000 yards. He's done that over and over.
Nah, breakout is like 1,300, maybe 1,400. A.J. Brown had 120 targets last year. Devontae had 113. So you lose 120 targets. You got to think Mekhi Lemon's going to get up in there. He'll probably get about his 70 targets. So theoretically, he could possibly get about 30 to 40 more targets. And he's a downfield type of threat. I mean, he can do a little bit of everything. It's crazy. He's been in the league 5 years already. That blew my mind. I didn't realize he's been in the game that long.
Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer is feeling very confident about Dallas's chances in 2026.
I want to win it for Dak Prescott. I want to win it for CeeDee Lamb, for Quinnen Williams, for our players that put in so much hard work and the sacrifice that goes into what we do. From us as a coaching staff, it's the hours, it's the mental strain of game planning. But for the players, they put their bodies on the line, and I make no qualms that that's the goal. The Super Bowl next year is February 14th, 2027.
Valentine's Day.
Yes. In SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, and we plan on being there. And
will they be there?
No, they won't.
You said that so confidently and so
quickly.
It's
been 4,500 years since the Cowboys sniffed the conference championship game.
40 is close.
It's no, I don't think so. I think every year they have the guys on paper to make a push for that. And I like Shotty, honestly. I think Shotty's a good coach.
Yeah, me too.
But some things that have happened, the NFC East is going to be a lot tougher this year. The NFC in general, I think, is probably the better conference this year, minus NFC South struggles. But even they could turn some heads what was going on over there. No, I don't think they make it. But at least get into the offs and see what they do.
Well, let's go to the AFC here. In an interview with Yahoo Sports, Patrick Mahomes gave his reaction to being ranked second behind Josh Allen in ESPN's recently released top 10 quarterback list.
Yeah, I mean, you understand it. I mean, coming off injury and we didn't play as well as we wanted to the last few years. You're going to drop in the rankings of some sort. But at the same time, there's a lot of good quarterbacks on that list, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. You got to go out and prove it every single year. So it's my job this year to prove why I can jump up in the list back to number one.
You think he does?
Yeah, I think he does. I think the style at which Mahomes plays, and then we got to remember Bieniemy is back with the Chiefs as well. But the style that he plays, Josh has great style too. Mahomes looks like he is a athletic guy, but like unorthodox, right? The arm slot is different. The way he runs, he like pitter-pats around. It looks more fun watching Mahomes. Josh Allen just looks like an athlete. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I got a cannon. And I think that the style of play, too, kind of influences the way that people appreciate what you're doing. And he just looks funny, he walks funny, he talks funny, he throws it weird, not weird, but just different. So I think that if he can just have a decent season, he'll be back on top. And then we know he knows how to win. That's something that Josh is still working on.
See, Mahomes' problem is that he set the bar so high for himself that anything falling short of 4,000 yards in a Super Bowl is people going, Mahomes fell off.
Yeah.
But he's also, it felt like Bump, suffered from the loss of some really good wide receivers, an aging Travis Kelce, a running back room that got banged up and never really got going. Like, there's plenty of other things happening in Kansas City that I think should give everyone pause before you start going, Mahomes doesn't have it anymore. That, to me, is taking a leap when they won a Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Man's barely 30. He'll be all right. He'll be just fine.
I think they'll be okay. Coming up at 1, our NFC West check-in continues with Fox Sports' Eric Williams. Before we get to that, speaking of top 10 lists from ESPN, wide receivers came out this morning. Where did JSN land?
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away. 10 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
And nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Sports.
Our first Mark Challenge victory is Aaron McCoy from McCoy Home Solutions, yet another small business owner that took the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Aaron, what was the initiative to make that call?
I've got something worth preserving for the sake of the people that I serve and my family. So it's important to me.
What did you learn through the process?
The experience with First Mark has been highly professional, informative individuals that have helped me from personal to professional insurance, life insurance, policies, coverage, cyberspace. Things that I was afraid to approach were pretty easily approachable.
How would you say their customer service has been, Aaron?
Absolutely 10 out of 10. I just couldn't say anything higher about First Mark. They've executed very well on as many levels as I could rate them.
So if you're a small business owner that wants to take the stress of insurance off your plate, do what Aaron McCoy did for McCoy Home Solutions. Make the call to First Mark Insurance. They're your teammate that goes to work for you. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
Justin's an avid skier, and a hard fall on the mountain changed everything.
I wound up tearing my meniscus, and then I found out that I also had osteoarthritis.
The pain was relentless.
Initially, it was probably a 7 or 8, but then it just continued and never went away.
It wasn't just pain, it was how he moved.
The biggest issue I had was simply walking. I could not walk without limping.
Others might have looked into surgery, but Justin chose stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. How's it now?
I'm back to skiing as hard as I can, and I don't even notice my knee anymore.
And the recovery?
Well, the biggest thing is I was walking without a limp within weeks, where I had been limping for the last year or so. Now I just feel totally normal. I feel like I can do anything that I ever did.
Before you choose surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first, the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Rev up your summer at LeMay, America's Car Museum. The British Bike Exhibition is now open along with the all-new cafe, El Coriano, which is getting rave reviews. Mark your calendar for Tacoma Cars and Coffee or family drive-in movie night. Have friends, family, or soccer fans coming to town? The trip to LeMay, America's Car Museum will be the highlight for kids and adults alike. Plan your visit now at americascarmuseum.org and experience something new today.
10 days
until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Need a heavy lift? Levitt Machinery is now your Taylor lift equipment dealer in Washington and Oregon. Engineered for extreme duty durability, Taylors are designed for demanding environments with uptime built into every machine. When the work is tough, Taylor delivers. And now backed by Levitt Machinery in the Pacific Northwest. LevittMachinery.com. Give us a call today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, live it.
Do you have a special occasion or milestone to commemorate? Come discover Klein Jewelers in charming downtown Edmonds. As a locally owned family jeweler, we combine an impressively large selection with the warm personal service only a hometown jeweler can provide. Whether you're searching for the perfect engagement ring or a beautiful piece of diamond or gemstone jewelry, you'll find plenty to love and no pressure along the way. From life's biggest milestones to those just because moments. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds. You're a jeweler for life.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on!
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
ESPN has been ranking their top 10 players at each position group. Jeremy Fowler puts the list together as voted on by executive scouts and coordinators across the league. So these are people in the NFL. We've gone over most of the position groups, with wide receivers being released earlier today and only safeties left. JSN is obviously on the list. He is not number one. We guessed in Hype Train yesterday, like, is he going to be number one or not? You said you don't think so. It's going to be Jamar Chase. It is Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase comes in at number one on the list, lowest ranking of 3, highest of 1, obviously. He is followed by Justin Jefferson, JSN. Now, someone had JSN with the lowest ranking of 7.
That's crazy.
Highest ranking of 1, though, so a little more across the board there. Now it gets interesting, and this is why I think wide receiver is such a fascinating debate. Puka Nacua comes in at number 4. Highest ranking was 3. Lowest ranking, unranked. At least one person surveyed by Jeremy Fowler had him unranked in the top 10 receivers in football. How? I don't know. And it's the same thing with every single one of the guys I'm about to read off next. Amon-Ra St. Brown coming in at 5, CeeDee Lamb at 6, George Pickens 7, Nico Collins 8, A.J. Brown 9, number 10, Devontae Adams. Rams with 2 players on this list.
The second one is suspect to me. Even though I know Devontae led the league in receiving touchdowns, all inside the red zone. I mean, he has Devontae inside the red zone is like the mid-range jumper from SGA. Like, he's always going to be able to get there and get to a spot and make that happen.
Yeah,
right?
he had 789 yards.
Yeah, it's he's great at that, and that's going to keep him around the league as long as he wants to, because now they're not going to ask him to run down the field 100 yards. He can just work in his box. But that's the one where I would be like, all right, well, maybe you could exchange some guys in there. Drake London, I said, is going to be on this list, so I'll talk about that more later. But I'm not mad at JSN at number 3. I think that he is definitely in the running to be number 1, but Jamar Chase has just done it year after year. I mean, you look at Jamar Chase's numbers. He's been dominant in this league since he stepped foot in this thing. And they're kind of they're like kind of the same size, but not. Jamar Chase is a little thicker. He's like 205 pounds. And what he does best, or better than Jason, I would say, break tackles. Like, listen to these numbers. Jamar Chase, first year, 1,400 yards, 1,000, 1,200, 1,700, 1,400. Like,
crazy.
Longevity.
A career low of 1,000.
1,000 yards. 17 touchdowns in 2024. 8 last year. 13 touchdowns his rookie season. 9 the year after that. The reason why he's number 1 is because he's done it every single year. JSN, who knows? He could have put up some numbers like this if DK wasn't here for 2 years. This is Jason's 3rd year, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He could have put up those numbers, but he didn't. So they're looking at this list and they're saying, yeah, who balled out last year, but who has shown us every single year that he's going to be able to get her done? And there's no denying that Jamar Chase is that guy.
No, there was enough that people saw from JSN, even though last year was very clearly a career high in yards. there was enough seen to where people thought, like, clearly he's good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the number 1,800 might be an outlier for any receiver to touch that number, but that the player himself is clearly elite. Again, at least one person in Jeremy Fowler's poll had him at number 1. So let's talk about some of the things, Bump, that do make him elite. Sam Darnold on JSN's Superpower.
I think JSN, man, he's the way that he runs routes, and I've used this a ton, but it looks like he's skating out there, and he doesn't really change levels. So I think he just runs routes at like the same level, and he just kind of glides. And I think it makes it really, really hard on defenders to be able to cover him because they don't know whether he's about to put it down in the ground and change directions, or whether if he's going to give him a hezzy and then keep going on that same line, or if he's just going to run by him.
A hezzy. That's a great description of his style.
Yeah.
I like smooth doesn't really cover it. He glides.
He'd be skating out there, man. Yeah. My favorite part about that clip is he's talking about the same level. So he's talking about his pad level. And say like a taller receiver like Justin Jefferson, I guess, he's shorter than I thought, 6'1", still taller, right? 6'1", when he runs, because of his size and his running style, when it's time to break, he throws his shoulders forward, right? And all receivers have to throw your shoulders forward because it allows you to decelerate and get out your route. But because JSN kind of runs with like synced hips and shoulders already forward, when he throws them, they're not as dramatic. There are some times where you have to because there's a defender on you and there's contact, you got to push him by him. But for the most part, like, he has this lean when he runs that already puts him in a position where when it's time to break down, there's not a lot of up and down when it comes to his running, right? So I think that's what he's talking about. A guy like Justin Jefferson, still one of the greatest. Look at his numbers, though. 1,400 yards, 1,600 yards, 1,800 yards, 1,000, 1,500 yards, 1,000. And last year he played with 10 quarterbacks, it seemed like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was actually quarterback
exactly,
there for a
and
while.
you threw lefty for him.
Yeah.
So that's what JSN does, and it's almost a bit unorthodox because if you look at the way the top receivers run their routes, it's very violent, and at the top of the route, you're throwing your shoulders down. You know who he runs routes like, and I'm not saying he's going to be like that. Jerry Rice was the same way. Jerry Rice didn't have this violent kind of running style. Everything was so smooth and consistent. So smooth and consistent to where you didn't know. Jerry Rice ran like a 4.5 or 4.6, but because in the 40, you put the ball in his hand, that dude gone. But because he ran so smooth and so forward that they don't really give you indicators of what's going to happen. Everyone has them, but they're not as dramatic as other receivers.
I'm going to read you a response from a listener who I can't tell if they're a Seahawks fan or not, but they don't think JSN's going to be as effective this year. I want to know your response. They said JSN won't be as effective this year, though. After what Christian Gonzalez did in the Super Bowl, the whole league got the message. And they're playing the Patriots in week 1. Gonzalez will go through the instructions again on the first game of the season, which is good for Barner. But I want to focus on the JSN part of it. Your response to the idea that the league or a player found out or solved JSN?
Everyone has games where the other team just does better. I think Gonzalez played him well. He did a good job. But I also think that there was a couple footballs that were underthrown that if JSN catches them, he has over 100 yards.
And Sam's talked about it.
And we're good.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. You're in the Super Bowl. You're playing against one of the best in the game. You're going to lose some of those battles. And what did I say yesterday about the receiver? We're so dependent on everything to go right for us, right? Yeah, if I'm going up against a 6'1", 6'2" corner and that ball's underthrown, he's probably going to make a play on that because he has longer arms than I do. I don't think anyone's figured JSN out yet, but I do know that this is the NFL, and you're not going to have success on every down.
I will say one of the most impressive things to me about JSN was that production was fairly consistent. Now, did he average, if you split the season in half, did he average and start with like the game against Arizona, but most especially with that win over Minnesota where he had kind of a quiet night? If you look at the second half, he is averaging fewer yards per game, undoubtedly in the second half. In the first half of the season, through week 8, only twice did he finish with under 100 yards a game, and one of them against New Orleans was 96 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that one away and said only once did he finish with under 100 yards a game. I also wonder, though, because he was so consistently good at just finding ways to win, if part of the problem, because Sam Darnold also struggled in the final third of the season, was just they were allowing a bit more pressure. Like they were kind of flat as an offense and not really effectively running the ball early. And they had no choice but to figure that out when people started really pressuring that line. Sam Darnold was sacked more in the second half than he was in the first half. I don't think it's a coincidence that JSN saw those numbers go down, and I don't think it's a JSN thing. I think the offense had to adapt to how the league was playing them, and they did effectively.
I think he plays the most dependent position in football. And when your quarterback's getting pressured, he's not making good decisions. It's a domino effect. We're the last domino to fall.
Yeah.
Everything happens, and then we have to finish it off. So in this NFL, man, you ain't going to ball out every game.
Coming up next, an NFC West check-in with Fox Sports' Eric Williams.
Those in the know that you can't miss Blue 88 with Brock Heward.
Owners in general and how they make their money and how they run their team. What did you learn as you took a deep dive?
Yeah, it's kind of all over the board. I can't tell you that Arthur Blank is a better owner because he started Home Depot. There's just not a direct through line.
We're not saying you'll get dumber if you're not listening, but you ain't getting any smarter if you miss it. Get Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. When people come first.
Les Schwab Tires has been proudly serving communities for over 70 years, and we've collected thousands of inspiring stories. Like Kate, who was off on a long road trip with her best friend when the dash lit up like a game show. They find the nearest Les Schwab. Turns out they really needed an oil change. It was done in a flash. Road trip saved. At Les Schwab, we're proud to keep you rolling. Les Schwab Tires. Our greatest story is yours. Stories are composites inspired by real customer feedback.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on now through August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Wayscar Ford is celebrating their 104th birthday in Auburn. How's that possible? It's all about the people, employees and customers just like you and me. The Wayscarf Way, 104 years of service, trust, and community. WayscarFord.com. That's WayscarFord.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The American League has struggled this year, but its stars shut out the National League team 4-0 in last night's All-Star game. 3 of those runs put up in the first inning. Tonight, it's the ESPYs and the Seahawks and JSN are nominees in 2 big categories. The Seahawks are up for Team of the Year against 8 other nominees. JSN is one of 4 nominees for NFL Player of the Year.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Fox Sports NFC West reporter Eric Williams joining us right now. Eric, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you guys doing?
Good. I'm going to start my look around the NFC West with you by looking right at the Rams. Yesterday, Bump joked that he saw something that scared him. And I said, well, what'd you see? And he said, I saw Aaron Donald working out with Myles Garrett, and it sure looks like this guy's on the brink of coming back. We've heard Adam Schefter say, like, he's pretty sure this is going to happen, doesn't want to bet on it. But, like, look, Adam Schefter saying he's pretty sure it's going to happen is a pretty clear sign here. So my question, A, you think Aaron Donald's coming back? And B, would this be for a full season? I just assumed it would be late.
It's definitely trending in that direction, with reports that he was working at the team facility just to kind of get a feel of how his body would respond to practice. From talking to a team source, there's no timeline on when he's going to make a decision. He hasn't made a decision yet. They start training camp, I believe, July 25th. But I suspect that if he does come back, it is going to be for the full season, that he's not going to just kind of parachute in at the end of the year, that, he wants to play like he did when he played a couple years ago. And that's, full tilt, not, 10, 12 plays a game or, come back in December. If he's going to play, then he's going to play like he normally did a couple years ago. So we'll see what the decision ultimately is. Again, I've heard from talking to people that know Aaron that he's comfortable in retirement as well. He's done everything that he can do as a player. He won a Super Bowl. Obviously, he was one of the best players defensively in league history. So he doesn't have anything to prove. But I think, being able to come back and play with Myles Garrett is appealing to Aaron.
Hey, Eric, every expert that we talk to, or National Voice, ESPN or whatever, they have the Rams as the favorites to win the Super Bowl. How are they digesting that information? I mean, obviously there's talent, right? Devontae, Puka, Matthew, Myles Garrett now. What's the feel around L.A. when it comes to this football team?
I think the feel is that they know that they can win it all, but they have to go out there and prove it on the field. They understand that they're going to be the favorites. I mean, if Aaron Donald comes back, they'd have 4 potential future Hall of Famers on their roster, and Donald, Stafford, Adams, and Garrett. It's probably one of the more stacked rosters, I think, in league history when you go back and look at some of the other super teams that have been assembled over the years. But not all of them have won it. We know what happened with the 2007 Patriots and the perfect season. So it's going to be up to McVay to kind of set the right tone and take a measured approach, a game-by-game approach, and going out and preparing each week. But certainly they understand what the expectations are based on the talent they have on the roster.
I wanted to stay with that a little bit. I'm glad you said one of the more loaded rosters we've maybe seen in NFL history. Yesterday we were talking about man, I keep trying to find the advantage that Seattle's just going to have here in terms of personnel. And while I still really like a lot of Seahawks and love Mike McDonald, and they're obviously defending Super Bowl champs and deserving of respect, the Rams roster is stacked, and I would not be shocked or disappointed at anyone for favoring the Rams in a matchup right now. So what I was doing instead was just asking Bump, what happens when dream teams don't work out? We looked a little bit at the 2011 Eagles being that team that we were just all oh my God, they're going to crush it. So I know the 2007 Patriots, statistically, maybe one of the best teams ever who made it all the way to a Super Bowl and didn't win it. But there are other dream teams that didn't even get that far. What sometimes can happen?
I've been listening to you, Stacey, and I think you've been bringing up the point rightly that their special teams still leave a little bit to be desired. I think that is a weakness of this team. Is Mevis going to be a guy that's going to come through in critical situations as their kicker? They, of course, hired a new special teams coach. What impact is he going to make? But do they have players on their roster, core special teams players that are going to go out and make the plays that need to be made in critical situations on the field? They haven't spent a lot of money in that area as well in terms of personnel. So I think that's an area to watch. And then I think, the quarterback's 38 years old and the backup hasn't played it down in the NFL. I think that, to me, is a concern, particularly if their left tackle, Eric Jackson, potentially is suspended at the start of the year in terms of the protection of that 38-year-old quarterback. It's why McVay was trying to get Jimmy Garoppolo to not retire, and why they went after Kirk Cousins, because they understand that if Stafford does get hurt, the team is way different. And so those are two areas that stand out to me. And like you said, when you go back and look at the 2011 Eagles or you look at the Patriots, those are things, weak areas that could potentially crop up and hurt a team and stop them from ultimately winning the Super Bowl.
Speaking of your backup quarterback, or the Rams' backup quarterback, what's the progress been like for Simpson over there?
It's been good. Everybody that I've talked to says that he's kind of as advertised in terms of, cerebral, an athletic mover, accurate, picking up the offense quickly. But those are OTAs. I mean, we're going to see what that development is like in training camp, and then ultimately, once we see him playing these joint practices and preseason games. But ultimately, I think they've been pretty happy with what they've seen so far from him on the field in the little bit, that they've been able to see in OTAs.
Looking at the 49ers, we've been looking at just kind of what to expect from the offense. They're a team that's hard for me to predict, not nearly as hard as the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I just kind of think maybe they're trying to go for the number one overall pick. I don't even know. The 49ers last year still went to the playoffs and won a game despite being absolutely decimated with injuries. Christian McCaffrey also had a slightly different role, really kind of being their leading pass catcher. And obviously we know he's dynamic, but the run game kind of fell apart. So tell us what to expect in maybe a healthier 49ers offense here, and what kind of noise they can make in the NFC West too.
Yeah, I think for me, the key is Mike Evans and how he's going to change what they do on offense. They really haven't had a receiver that talented, even though, Mike obviously is a little longer in the tooth, since, Debo was at his height, during the year that they went to the NFC Championship game and lost to the Rams. So I'm interested to see his ability to win on the perimeter, how he establishes a rapport and connection with Brock Purdy, particularly in the red zone, where they can that can create more opportunities to score touchdowns instead of field goals and create balance where McCaffrey doesn't have to carry every aspect of that offense. So I think that's going to be important for that team. Obviously, Robert Salah is gone, so having Rashid come in and be the defense coordinator, that's a change that you have to kind of account for and see how he does. And then, they're old. I mean, you look at all the talented players on their roster, they're all in their 30-somethings. A couple of them are coming off of season-ending injuries when you consider Fred Warner and Bosa and Kittle. So how are they going to respond? Are they going to be able to stay healthy? So I think there's definitely concerns when you consider, how top-loaded that team is and then how old that team is.
I respect what Shanahan is able to do over there in San Francisco, but he still hasn't been able to win the big game. Is there a world where he could be on the hot seat, or has he done so much and his relationship with Lynch is so tight that he's got a few more years for that before that could be a possibility?
Yeah, I think he has a few more years because of the success that he's had in getting that team to Super Bowls. I always look at it this way: if you're going to get rid of somebody, who are you replacing them with? So if you're going to get rid of Shanahan, who are you bringing in that's going to be as good or better than he is? The Seahawks were fortunate, that they moved on from Carroll and they were able to bring in somebody like McDonald. But McDonald's unique in that there's not that many guys out there that are like him in terms of leadership and innovation. So I think Shanahan still has a ways to go before you're talking about moving on from him. I mean, he's, in my opinion, one of the top 5 coaches in the league.
This sounds like a weird question, but I saw you retweet what I thought was a great quote from Larry Fitzgerald, which is saying, like, the Arizona Cardinals could have an incredible season in terms of improvement and finish in last place because this division is so great. And I know that if I were, let's say, a fan of a team in another division where maybe it's, a little top heavy or maybe 2 teams at the top, I'm looking at the NFC West, knowing how good these 3 teams are and just hoping that they eat each other alive, right? That they just beat up on each other. What's maybe the advantage and some of the risk in having the 3 arguably best teams in the NFC this year all in the same division?
I think the advantage is what you're competing against on a league-wide scale, because the team that makes the Super Bowl is likely going to come from your division. So you're going to be facing those teams twice a year. So I think it helps you assess your team and your roster and get better quicker playing against elite-level competition on a regular basis. And certainly with Mike LaFleur coming from Los Angeles, he has an up-close look of what that looks like, of having been there for an extended period of time. So I think that helps in terms of building your roster and your culture. You don't really have anything to lose, so you can kind of play loose and free when you go up against those other teams because nobody expects you to win any of these games. So, yeah, I retweeted that because I think it's correct. Like, they could go 7-10, 8-9 in a division where all 3 teams potentially could win at least 12 games, not make the playoffs, but have a significantly better season than they had last year. And they do have talent. I think that's one of the things that you can't overlook when you're thinking about the Cardinals. You have guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. You have Budda Baker defensively. Sweat, their edge rusher, is a guy that made a Pro Bowl. Mike Wilson got a lot better the second half of last season. They drafted Jeremiah Love, who's going to come in and I assume, play at an elite level based on where he was drafted. So they have pieces. It's just a matter of them, figuring out the quarterback situation. We're assuming it's going to be Jacoby Brissett once they get the contract done and ultimately probably drafting somebody in 2027. But I think the advantage is playing in a really competitive division that's going to help you get better quicker.
Speaking of possibly going 7-10, Bucky said that was his prediction for the Seahawks, and Stacy and I, pretty much everyone at the station was kind of scratching their head like, what's he thinking? You look at the schedule, though. I see some losses there. I mean, you got to play. I think the NFC East is going to be better than what people think. But 7-10 wasn't my pick. Whenever I'm unsure about a team, a good team always plays like 10 wins on the line, maybe 10, 11 wins.
Yeah.
What you think of the 7-10 projection, and what's your projection?
Yeah, Bucky's probably suffering the wrath from the 12s there with the 7-10.
Quite a bit.
They're on his head right now.
Definitely on his head. I could understand why he may think that because of all the losses that they've had in free agency and the fact that, maybe people feel like they overperformed last year, based on where a lot of people nationally had the Seahawks, in terms of wins. I think a lot of people didn't expect the Seahawks to make the playoffs last year. I was one of the people nationally that expected Seattle to make the playoffs based on how they had performed the year before. So I wasn't surprised that they made the postseason. Obviously surprised that they went to the Super Bowl and won it. I just think for me, what people aren't considering is the type of culture that's been created there by McDonald, having been around that team more than a little bit over the past year. And then defensively, I still think they're going to be dominant because most of their players, their key players, are still in place. And then Darnold has another year in the system, even though Kubiak's left. It's essentially the same offense with most of the pieces in place other than Walker, who, obviously played well in the Super Bowl. So I really don't feel like they lost a lot. And I think they're going to get a year better, with McDonald being there. So for me, I think they're going to take a step up in terms of their performance. And obviously the Rams are going to be talented as well. And, we've discussed the 49ers, but Seattle should be right there, playing with all three of those teams, in my opinion.
I'm glad you mentioned the culture because I feel like outside of just the one that McDonald has established with all of his buy-in, there's like a bigger Seahawks culture here set during Schneider's tenure. And while he's had some down drafts, and we've certainly complained and complained about trades that didn't work out, overall, they've only had 2 7-win seasons since 2011, well, including 2011. So I just saw that and I was like, man, that's like, there are just certain teams that when they have the right GM or the right ownership in place, like they don't really have those failures and those stretches of bad play. Again, 1 7-10 season, and it was in 2021 and 2011. And I just thought like, Bucky, I don't know about that one. So, yeah.
Right. And I think, again, that goes overlooked. And they talked about that when they first took over in 2010, Snyder and Pete creating sustainable championship success and culture. And you've seen that. You just mentioned it. Only 2 teams have lost 7 games. And so it wasn't just Pete that was creating that. It was John was an integral part of that as well. And you're seeing that with Pete being gone, that they understand how to build rosters and a culture that can sustain, a championship level roster. And so that's why, again, I think they're gonna win double-digit games again.
Continuing our off-season preview of the NFC West, Eric Williams of Fox Sports able to help us with all 4 teams today, which is pretty sweet. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Have a good one. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, Bump. What would be ideal for this Seahawks offense?
The same 5 offensive linemen that started the Super Bowl starts week 1. And we know we're only looking at one spot, really. Anthony Bradford. If he loses his job, so be it. Bo Stevens, I'm sure he earned it. He deserves it. But they can make a bigger jump if Anthony Bradford is that much better this year that he keeps the job. If you start a rookie, you're going to deal with rookie mistakes. Now, you deal with AB mistakes as well. That's part of the game. But the jump, I feel like, forward going into this year with the same 5 will be greater than if you had a rookie in there. Can he develop and become a guy and you take a jump later on? For sure. Maybe even AB starts the season as a guy and then Stevens comes in. But if we start the season, the Hawks start the season with the same starting 5 they ended with, that means the offensive line has gotten better collectively. They understand the offense, and it's all good for business.
This is probably a better question for Ray, but I also would imagine that there's a chemistry that's good to continue to build on year after year.
Yeah. for sure. It's I say it all the time, but linemen have to speak without speaking. It's all body language and feel. When they're double teaming, when they're handling a stunt. Remember, we heard Gray's Abel. He said he told Cross, "Hey, don't worry, I won't let him get in the B gap." You know, that right there is a relationship of offensive lineman.
Second down. Quarterback willing. What receiver will crack ESPN's top 10 list in 2027?
Quarterback willing. We're the most dependent position in football. Okay, Emeka Ibuka. If Baker Mayfield gets hot, does his thing, I think he can crack the top 10 or have the potential to crack the top 10. Drake London. Most people don't know he's the third highest paid receiver in the game right now.
I had completely forgotten that.
$35 million he is getting paid. Who's going to be his quarterback? I said I thought Tua is probably going to win it. You think Penix is going to win the job?
No, I think Tua will win the job. Again, for anyone wondering, it's a battle between Tua and Michael Penix Jr., and the current regime isn't the one that drafted Michael Penix, so it truly is an open competition.
Yeah, and I think Tua has put together a couple years to where he's shown that he could be a guy for a little bit, but we'll see. Either way, I think eventually Penix is going to get his opportunity to be the guy, but I'm going to lean with Tua. Then the last one is Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart, I really like Jackson Dart, man. I like his style, I like the way he plays. He needs to get down a bit more. I'll stop trying to be the hero. But if he can just be decent, I think Malik Neighbors can crack it. So I'm looking at Devontae Adams and saying you're probably out next year unless he scores another 15, 14 touchdowns. We shall see.
Third down. What do you think the Seahawks need for this defense to continue to play at a high level?
You need one rookie to pop. Just one. It could be Julian Neal. It could be Bud Clark. Look at last year, the effect that Nick Mawari had on his defense. We thought he would be good. I don't think anyone thought he'd be this good. We knew he was going to play safety. You know, he played safety, linebacker, rush the edge, nickel, whatever you want. He did everything. Not saying that one of these rookies have to do everything, but you need one of these guys to hit. If you can make that happen, then I believe this defense has a chance to not be maybe as good as they were last year, but still be one of the better defenses in the game. And it's a lot to ask, right? You don't want a rookie to lead the charge. You just want him to have a positive impact on the game. And I really think that the way that this team has drafted the last 4 or 5 seasons, someone's hit every time. We go back 6, even to DK. Right? Someone has hit every time. So keep the good times rolling, John. You guys done a good job evaluating. One rookie defender hits, this defense is going to go.
There's so much action in this game right
Yeah,
now.
it's
I
going
keep
down.
looking over like, oh my God. Fourth down. What's something you think will happen in the NFL within the next 5 seasons?
Stacy doesn't think this will happen.
Nope.
But I think it will happen. I think we will have a running back MVP. There's going to have to be a guy who rushes for 1,000, receives for 1,000, rushes for 14, 15 touchdowns, receives for about 8, 9 touchdowns. I think that it is very possible. The way these running backs are these days, the Bijan Robinsons, the Gibbs, this is the new running back. McCaffrey got this thing going. Stacey's a hater.
I'm not a hater.
When it happens, we get donuts for a week.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If a running back is named MVP, I'll bring donuts every day for a week.
I like it.
Because it's not going to happen. And
It
that's
is.
a 5-year bet.
5-year bet.
You can cash in at any point if that happens. I just don't. This isn't me hating on running backs. This is me hating on how the league handles MVP. It's almost always going to be a quarterback. Maybe a premier defensive end, something like that. But I'm sorry, if it wasn't Derrick Henry
before a running back?
No.
That's crazy talk.
Yes.
That's crazy
Defensive
talk.
lineman?
No, it would have happened this year. He just broke the single season record. Myles Garrett.
Oh,
No.
I guess the defensive player of the year would always go with that. Here's why I have a hard time with it. We've seen running backs. We've had this conversation I don't know how many times since
What
the last
running
time.
back?
The last time a running back won in 2005, I think.
No, I mean, all right, go ahead. my
Derrick
bad.
Henry.
Finish.
We were wondering if Derrick Henry's going to
Nah,
get it.
it was
Did
more
Henry get
McCaffrey.
won in
Adrian-
2012.
Thank you,
It was more
2012. I knew it
McCaffrey.
hadn't been
I was
that
thinking
long.
more McCaffrey because McCaffrey went for 1,000 and 1,000. That's what you got to do. You can break the season record at 2,000 yards on the ground, but
Yeah, Saquon Barkley not getting it.
no, he didn't break the record.
I don't even think breaking the record would do it.
I say breaking record, you would be in consideration, but you got to do something no running back has done before, like 1,500, 1,300.
And if you have
30
if you're a
touchdowns.
running back with 1,300 receiving yards,
Yeah,
is your quarterback probably going to be in that conversation?
maybe.
I just think the league favors quarterbacks for
It
this so
definitely
strongly.
does. It definitely does.
I think that the position, you've been on top of it, and that the position is evolving to be more of that. Like, you can't just be Christian McCaffrey, but that you have to be a factor in the passing game. It's just you simply have to do that. I also think that that's going to take away from the argument people make because, like, you're not going to see as many, 2,000 yards for this running back. We need to talk about running back success differently.
Game's changing. They're gonna be called something else, not even RBs. They're going to call us something else.
We've never seen a receiver win MVP. You know what position has won an MVP, though?
Offensive line.
No. 1982, Mark Mosley, kicker, Washington.
Win that lockout year or something like that?
I think so. I think that was a 9-game season.
I don't know why it would be an offensive line. Yeah, I don't know why it would be a tackle. I just shouted out the least like there's no way. But kicker, actually, that
is so disrespectful.
Completely.
That's disrespect.
How bad was the league?
MVP in 1982.
How bad was the best quarterback in 82? That's what I want to know. Speaking of, coming up at 1:45, what I need to know, 866-979-3776. Get your questions in. Coming up next, it's gut check time for the Seattle Mariners.
Exclusive coverage of the sale of the Seahawks on Seattle Sports.
Ball is caught. JSN drags the defender.
ESPN NFL insider Seth Wickersham.
At the very beginning of the process, people told me that don't underestimate this guy.
With Brock and Salk.
No one seems to know that much about him because most of the people we know are in the sports world.
He's shrewd and smart. They wouldn't describe him as cutthroat, but he's someone who he never loses.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube now.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Dave Wyman here, and the folks at Bellevue Rare Coins say higher prices have enticed more Americans to cash out their jewelry, gold, and silver items. Here's a story from a real customer. She walked into Bellevue Rare Coins with an old bag of jewelry, a little bit nervous, a little bit embarrassed because it was mostly old tangled chains and pieces she hadn't looked at in years. When they gave her the total, she couldn't believe what it was worth. Go see what your jewelry is worth with a free consultation. Bellevue Rare Coins is now in Linwood, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Bellevue.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on now through August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
America's favorite car show returns to Puyallup.
Cruise on out for the good guys' 38th Griot's Garage Pacific Northwest National. 3 huge days with over 3,000 classics from across the country. Check out the indoor car show and special areas. Vendor Midway Automotive Swap Meet, live music, Saturday night twilight cruising, and more. July 24th through the 26th at the Washington State Fair Event Center. Details at good-guys.com.
The countdown is on.
10 days.
Until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Cascade Machinery and Electric is the Northwest's trusted industrial equipment expert, and they're hiring outside sales reps, manual and job shop machinists, and field service technicians now. Each position offers competitive pay, full benefits, and a career with a company that values hard work and loyalty. Come join the team that has set the standard in industrial sales and service for over 100 years. Visit cascade-machinery.com/careers. Don't wait. Apply today.
Pests and poor installation have something in common. One call to Eastside Exterminators takes care of both. For more than 50 years, families across Western Washington have trusted Eastside Exterminators to eliminate pests for good and protect homes from crawl space to attic. With dedicated installation services and the state's only smart pest detection technology. From Everett to Federal Way, one call handles it all. 425-482-2271 or visit eastsideexterminators.com. Eastside Exterminators, family first pest control.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Seattle Mariners pick up play again on Friday with a home series against the Giants. Right now, they're 48-49, under 500 hitting the All-Star break, 1.5 back in the AL West, and they're holding on to the third wildcard spot. I still think that they're going to make the playoffs. But that's the only context that I've been using to kind of, I guess, I don't want to say falsely uplift Bump, but to kind of add context to where they are. The season still very much matters, that they should look to add at the deadline. Because year to date, it's obvious who they are, and it doesn't feel like a good playoff team. They're 14th in home runs. They're 26th in OPS. May was their only month with a winning record at 15-13. It was because they hit 42 home runs. They don't have more than 30 in April or June, and just 10 through the first half of July. They're a home run reliant offense that isn't hitting home runs. And the pitchers have been doing a great job, but there's not quite enough offensively to help them. And, you have some injuries in the pen. At a certain point, you are who you are. So what do you do now?
Baseball. The only sport where you can be under 500 and say, just look at the back of the baseball card. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. They're on paper, they're good. On paper, they're good. And I get it because you still have, 90-something games in?
You have 65 left.
Yeah, you still got a bunch left. But we're 90 in, and we haven't seen that team yet. They have fought injuries. Guys been banged up. Cal's not having the year that we thought. Julio, not a bad first half, but not a great first half. Josh hasn't been clutch. But it's baseball. He has 60-something games left. And people who don't watch this team every single day are saying, you know what? They're going to turn a corner. They're going to get it. People who do watch this team every day. We talked to Ryan Roland Smith today. He says, you know what? I think they're still going to make the playoffs. That's all I'm holding on to at this point, is that eventually they will be who they are when you pull out the Upper Deck baseball cards, open up the package, and you read their stat line. That's the thing that kills me about baseball, is that That is absolutely right. It's probably going to happen. But in the meantime, we sit when we suffer through this this offense that has been productive, these arms that will go on stretches where they look great, and every now and then there's a dud in there.
Yeah.
And you fight through the injuries, and then you sit there and you question everything that Dan's doing or doesn't do because of the lack of concentration from this team and the lack of performance. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the crowd with this one. Just be like, all right, they're eventually going to get it right. But if I'm just evaluating this team off of the last month.
Like your gut feeling.
Yeah, I'm like, it don't look too good.
It doesn't
but they got
good.
60-some games left.
I don't know that they're going to play to the back of their baseball cards. We're kind of too far into the season to think that Cal's going to magically turn this around. But I said it earlier. I think that there can be a good version of a 2026 Cal. And that is probably going to be his worst year statistically. I mean, it most certainly is, just mathematically. But, like, I don't think he's turning into 2025. But you can contribute in other ways. And you can still be a great leader and a great presence. And I feel the same way about Naylor, where it's like, this may just be a weird year for him, but you can still be so important to this team. Julio, I have way more. Julio, I'm like, I think there's a second half Julio. We've seen Julio go on a tear before. Like, Julio's the one I kind of turn to in the second half and go, like, what are you going to bring? You know, like, what's going to happen here? I also think another thing, Bump, I think it's okay to take a really honest look at yourself, feel very disappointed by that, and still look forward to a second half and what you can accomplish. Like, there's almost like a fix in just being honest about it. This was Jeff Passan on with Brock and Salk.
When you have a first half as disappointing as the Mariners was, and I don't think there is any other way that you can characterize this first half. The Seattle Mariners were one of the most disappointing teams in baseball, and they did not play anywhere close to the level of talent that they have. The Mariners should not be holding on to a wild card spot right now with an under 500 record. They should be running away with the American League West, and they're not. And so I think this is a gut check time, not just for the players, but also for Dan Wilson and the coaching staff to ask themselves, what are we missing? What are we not doing? How are we not getting through to these guys? And what are some things that we can do to change that and to not just to change that, but to actively affect change?
We've talked about Cal and Naylor and Julio a ton, but Bump, you also said that the All-Star break may be more important for Dan than anyone else. Why?
Typically, teams reflect their leadership, right? If I have a fiery head coach, most likely that team is going to resemble that. And Dan is not that. He's like a low-key type of guy, which I think is better for your health, especially in baseball. Season's too long, too many games. But I look at him and I ask myself, has there been a moment this year where he has shown a little fire and held guys accountable in front of the team? These are grown men. These are professionals. So there's a way you talk to them. Like the way I talk to my high school football team when they're messing up, there's no way I can talk to a pro football team like that.
Can't talk to 25 and 30-year-olds.
Yeah, they're grown men. You can still be stern, but with the younger team, you're the elder. You're wiser. It's different approach. So my question is, during this break, what does Dan do? Like, what is the self-scouting report for himself? That's the best thing you could do. You either have people around you who will hold you accountable respectfully. You are the manager. But are you able to look within and say, I need to do this better, or let me try this and that, and maybe I'll get a better reaction out of my guys?
I like that point of like holding people accountable, or like, is there, again, all good people with this organization, but like, is there a kind of introspection that's happening about, do we need to approach our communication differently? One of the things that kind of fell apart at the end of Carroll's tenure wasn't just that the team wasn't as good as it was during his best years. Yeah, like there was clearly a talent deficiency here that didn't exist in 2013 and 14 and 15. But I always think back to that interview that he had with Brock and Salk when Salk's like, is your message getting through to players? And Pete, clearly frustrated, just goes, why don't you ask them? Yeah. And I think that communication, effective and ineffective communication, is such an underrated impact with teams. You know this as a former player and as a coach, but I think that when we look at a team and we go, what's missing? I don't get it. What's happening? Sometimes it's as simple as, yes, guys not playing well, but also messaging or body language or, you know what I mean? Like there's other stuff here, and we'll never have insight into how that's working. But I think a gut check and an honest look at yourself doesn't always have to be this horrible thing where you just go, I guess we're not good. Never mind.
No, that's the journey of a season in any sport, is weathering the lows and riding the highs and finding a balance. But every now and then you gotta shock the system too. Every now and then, I remember I came in one time in practice, and it came in the locker room, just lit them up. They didn't even know. I go, Coach, watch this. I'm just gonna light them up right now because we've been practicing just like garbage. I lit them up, and then walked out of there, and we had the best practice we ever had. You know, just shock the system the way Dan does. I don't know the way Dan would shock the system, but something needs to happen to this team to kind of make them perk up and then lock in, because the silly mistakes are what's going to kill me. You're going to lose ball games. You're going to strike out. You're going to have bad days, but silly mistakes.
Agree. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. Any question, text it now, 866-979-3776.
If you're subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube, then you saw this Wyman and Bob digital exclusive first.
Leonard Williams, he's in the final year of his deal. Can you pay him somewhere around top of the market?
He's still absolutely at the top of his game. I don't see any kind of drop-off as far as his age goes going into his 12th year.
Beyond who he is on the field, who he is in that locker room, he's just such a leader and a presence.
The home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube now.
Let me take you back 104 years ago. The year is 1922. The president is Warren G. Harding. Insulin is a breakthrough diabetes treatment. Betty White is born. And Wayscar Ford opens up in Auburn. I mean, think about that. The Ford Bronco Sport I'm driving right now is from a dealership that's been around for 104 years. How's that possible? Wayscar Ford is a model of consistency, and their secret, it's all about the people, employees and customers just like you and me. I'm looking at their core values, but they're more than just words on paper. They mean it. They care. To this day, when I've got a question about the Bronco, I text the guy I got it from, Chris. He's wonderful. And the entire team has been so easy to work with. Wayscar Ford is celebrating their 104th birthday in Auburn with exclusive deals for loyal customers. No payments for 104 days. Enter to win tickets, go see them in person, and be part of history. The Wayscarf Way, 104 years of service, trust, and community. Wayscarford.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Every summer, homeowners wait too long to find a house painter. All Covered Painting is accepting a limited number of exterior projects this season. Ask about a designer-led complimentary color consultation. Get your free estimate at allcoveredpainting.com.
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
We share our used cars. So our used cars are open trade between any store. So the sales managers don't have a problem in saying, yes, that car's available, and then that person from Seattle can come to Kirkland, pick the car up and sell it. It's what's best for the customer at the end of the day.
The LJ way.
If the customer wants to be met in Seattle, then let's figure out how to get that car from Kirkland to Seattle so that customer can come in there and transact. When you're all one team and you've got a great relationship, the other team comes over and helps that team, and then you as the customer don't see any difference in that experience. You're still getting the same service that you want and expect.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Longer days, warmer weather, and a stronger you all start at Top Fitness. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and right now, check out the Top Fitness Big Sale in all 3 of their stores. Every category is on sale. Home gyms, weight plates, dumbbells, treadmills, and stair climbers like I've got. Great deals on display models, too. Have a home gym that needs some help? Get your rubber flooring and all the accessories you need. Get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
10 days.
Until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this late-night ad to make you more alert, which could help your driving. And science tells us that pulsing beats faster, stimulating audio like traveling sound, and voices on the higher,
so-called brighter end of the audio spectrum like this can encourage focus.
Also, a familiar tune can help, so...
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. 866-979-3776. Our first question, what can you throw further, a donut or a fish?
A donut.
Why a donut?
I'm going to say donut too, yeah.
So I'm going to ball that thing up, make it nice.
No,
and
what
compact.
if you... No.
All right, still, I can frisbee a donut. Fish, they're
the fish
slippery.
is going to wiggle, yeah.
Yeah, they're slippery.
Well, the fish is going to be dead. And the donut, you can't ball into...
I still say donut. I can get more wrist action with the donut.
The fish weighs more than the donut. What are we talking about?
Stacey, have you ever seen
anything?
Yeah.
When do you throw?
Also, when have you ever seen a fish fly straight through the air?
Well, no, you're going to have to kind of launch it.
This is not your area of expertise.
First of all...
Throwing anything.
Okay, you can say that I don't run great.
I didn't say about running.
But to say I've never thrown anything...
You don't throw.
Literally,
yeah,
the other
you're
day...
not a thrower.
No. Hang on. The other day, remember when Curtis missed the wastebasket, and then I made it in, and he said, well, you used the wall as a backboard. But I still made it in. I threw
Stacey,
that better
that's
than
not
Curtis did in that
throwing,
moment.
That's shooting a paper basket.
Throw that as hard as you can at Matt.
Yeah. Can
Throw it
you
as
even
hard
hit
as
the
you can.
glass?
Yes.
Stop compacting it.
You... I hit the glass.
That is all I need to see. You're not throwing a fish.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to watch out for the lights ahead of me.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not... I've said
was-
I'm
Oh,
not...
yeah, like your
I've
arm
said
was
I'm
gonna
not
knock a
land
light
athlete
down.
many times.
It was better than I thought, though. I'll give you that.
I'll tell you what, we fall off a boat, guess who's living the longest? Me.
You don't think we can swim?
Okay. We're moving the goalposts here.
Okay, well, I'm clearly the strongest swimmer out of all of us.
I'll beat you in a 100-meter race right now.
Untrue.
Right now.
Untrue.
I'm just saying, if you go to a donut shop, those buttermilk bars, they're basically the size of your palm. Like, you could huck one of those
I think that
at least 50 miles an hour.
I think scientifically you can throw the fish further because it's heavier
No.
and it's
You're
dead.
so wrong on this.
I want to test this so bad. I'm so mad at you guys. What I need to know. Would you rather fight one Leonard Williams-sized cat or 11 cat-sized Leonard Williamses?
11 cat size Leonard Williams.
Yeah, you could just kind of kick
the heck out
those.
of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want the Leonard Williams sized cat. It's just a tiger. Now you're talking about a tiger.
Quite literally a big cat.
Talk about a Bengal.
Yeah, exactly. Would you face a lion or cat-sized people? I'll take the latter. What I need to know.
Oh, by the way, it's a tie game in the World Cup.
Spoiler
1-1, 87th minute. People complain. Ooh, spoiler alert. Shut up.
God, Curtis.
Yeah.
I told that person, like, well, we're a live radio show. We're going to do updates. We have to. What would the Mariners' record be if Luis Castillo went to the pen and instead we had a 5-man rotation all the way through? I have 4 more wins, not including extra innings and potential improvement.
I think 4 is a good number. I think so. I agree with that.
I think being an arm short in the pen has made things difficult. And there are losses you look at where you go, oh, Castillo's just not who he was. I think that you'd have 5 more wins if Cal and Naylor were better. Like, I think the offense has contributed more to losses. I think it's easy because you look at Dan's bullpen
So how many
decisions.
wins do you think you get if Castillo's in the pen, though? What'd you say? What'd you decide on?
2.
2?
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe. But
I like 4. I like 3 or 4.
I
mean, because who do we see? Rucker? I don't want to see him again. Simpson?
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah. What I need to know. Who's your pick to win the Mariners Alumni Home Run Derby? Obviously, Ryan Roland-Smith.
Royan Rowland.
Just out of support for our guy.
I saw Bucky
Ichiro's
the other
in it.
day. Ichiro's in it?
I thought he was a captain.
Oh.
No, Ichiro's participating.
I'm going
I
Ichiro
think he
then.
might win.
I'm going Ichiro all
That's
day.
unfair.
Going Ichiro.
No, hang on a minute.
Mike Cameron could be a solid pick. You know who actually is a dark horse? Ryan Healy. He most recently
Yeah.
played out all these guys.
Yeah.
And had pretty decent power when he played.
And spells his name with an O. Okay, well, I don't know why I thought Ichiro was a captain. Oh, it's Griffey and Buhner as the captains.
yeah.
Okay.
I think Nelson Cruz
mixed one
is
of them
involved
up.
in some capacity.
Ryan, I'm really sorry. I have to take my vote back. I think Ichiro is probably a good choice here. You're going Ryan Healy?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm staying with Ichiro.
Ichiro. Someone wants me to know that they agree with me, and it is a fish. So I just would like to say the people a person is on my side. Someone said you just hammer toss it by the tail. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's more weight behind the fish if you just throw it than the donut. And you have to count for the air in the middle of a circle donut.
I love when Stacy is not convinced of her own argument, and so she talks her way through it.
What I need to know. What's your Mount Rushmore of Seahawks wide receivers? This is a great one.
Steve Largent.
He's going to be on everyone's.
Tyler Lockett.
That's interesting.
He's like second of catches all time.
I know, but I'm surprised you didn't go second.
Is there an
with
order?
Well, no.
Can I go? Can I go?
I'm having
Stacey
flash.
asked Bump
Goodness gracious.
for his answer, and then she just tells him how wrong he is.
I was thinking earlier today how I'm such like an older
You're gonna
child
answer
energy.
how I want to. This is like playing games with Willa.
Oh, this is exact. That, and both of us are the oldest child. So sorry, Bump. I got a little older
All right,
child.
so it's Largent.
I'll turn my mic off.
Lockett, DK, JSN. What is DK? He has like third most touchdowns all time.
He does. He has second most yards.
And then one more. I gotta go with an OG.
No.
What's the name? B.
Brian Blades?
Yes, Blades.
Wait, how many is that?
5.
Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
Mount Rushmore's 4. 4 presidents.
This is the new one.
You got to knock
You
someone
didn't hear
off.
what Trump said he's gonna put another face on.
Stop.
Mount
No, he
Rushmore.
didn't. Did he really?
No.
Oh, I was
But
gonna
the
say-
fact that you believe
No.
that is crazy.
No, but I believed it, and for a minute I thought, oh, this is going to do amazing work for sports radio. We're now going to be able to have top 5 lists.
No, man. Yeah, that's my 4. I'll stay with that.
The Mount Rushmore of bad Stacy food takes. I don't know. What I need to know.
Wow,
What?
Argentina scored again.
Oh, poor bloke Rob Staten.
Oh.
Probably
In extra
world of
time.
hurt.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Now, Bump, how did
It's
FIFA make this happen?
2-1. It's 2-1.
This is I don't know. I have to watch the game again. No sound. I
Brad
can't
in
tell.
Seattle said just drove through the UW and can confirm Bump's earlier comments.
Thank you, Brad. Them kids.
Please don't hit anyone.
They don't care.
Don't do it. I'm trying to look for other questions, but unfortunately, I have now turned the text line.
There's British fans wearing chainmail, looking so sad in the stands.
It's all just people deciding whether or not they could throw a donut or a fish further. That's what it entirely is. Let's see. Best Seahawks defensive player of all time.
Bobby
or Kennedy Cortez.
I love this segment. You're listening to Bob and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Wyman and Bob coming up next. What professional mascot would you actually eat in a restaurant? Bronco. Oh, that's weird. No, I didn't. Sorry.
I got excited about that one.
30 years ago.
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later.
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Do you need a new roof? Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and secure $500 off your project this summer. Our technicians build a custom plan to ensure a high-quality roof installation every time. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Usually when something sounds way too good to be true, it is. Imagine someone says you can cut your mobile bill in half. Sounds like a fantasy, but with Xfinity Mobile, it's the real deal. Because when you have Xfinity Internet, you can cut your mobile bill in half, plus try Xfinity Mobile free for a year, no commitment. That's a lot of streaming, sharing, scrolling, and whatever else you can do with your phone. All for half the price and none of the commitment. That means you'll save big over Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Wild. Now all you have to do is think about how you'll spend all that extra money. Call 1-800-XFINITY, go to XfinityMobile.com, or visit your local Xfinity store to switch today. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Savings compared to one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only after 12 months. Regular rates do apply. So make the call today. 1-800-XFINITY.
Summer is here, and it's time to break through your weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and we have a proven system that can help you lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Whether you need a nutrition plan to complement your GLP injections, or you're like many of our clients who don't want to worry about ongoing monthly costs, giving yourself shots, or uncomfortable side effects. Either way, our program provides the support, accountability, and structured nutrition plan so you can achieve your results for the long term. Schedule your free phone consult at eastsideweightlossklinik.com.
Look, this plan does work. It's Mike Salk here, and I used Eastside Weight Loss Clinic to lose 35 pounds. Just recently, I heard about one of our listeners who lost 40 pounds. How about that? The plan will teach you lifelong habits to continue eating the food you love while losing weight.
We've helped over 4,000 people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Come to our clinic in Kirkland or do the program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
When your equipment is down, every minute counts. Levitt Machinery has the parts, technicians, and expertise to get you back up and running fast. Because if it's forked, we fix it. LevittMachinery.com. Need a lift? Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event going on right now through Sunday, August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at